exit from the Nedbank Cup, Mutel writes this cross-parental comment. I'm tired. These guys are not serious. What did you say?
Did they look serious to you on Saturday?
But I could hear you. That was the thing. I was sitting at home and I was reading this Instagram response. I could actually hear you.
I went through different stages of grief during that game. The hope of, we'll score. No, we won't score. It doesn't look like these guys have showed up for this game. And then the anguish just increases. So I was just like...
It piled on and piled on and piled on. Good morning, Mateo Haripe.
Morning, Bongs.
Good morning, Amoramila.
Good morning, Bongs. You look well rested, I must say.
Apparently that's what weekends are for. Who knew?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk on this Monday morning, of course, I'm not alone. You've heard Amoramila, who is here for traffic and so much more. Mutewa business and a lot more. We've got producers in the booth. We've got Bapelile and Ropfiwa taking your calls on 011-883-0702. There are other producers in the background doing all sorts of other things, including, of course, KG starting the clock and Karabo responsible for our social media. We'll tell you what's going on in the world and we'll tell you what's happening in and around 702 land. Our big stories today focus firstly on the 17 men who were lured into go fighting in the war in Ukraine. They say they, upon arrival, were stripped of their identities, their belongings were taken from them, and the idea was to use them as cannon fodder in the war, on the front lines, without any training. They barely had their correct equipment, much less knew how to use it. One of the chaps who arrived yesterday lost his leg. It's been amputated. Only 4 out of 17 are back. The others, some of them we don't know if they're still alive. We don't know their whereabouts. And of course, at the center of the accusations was that these poor fellows were recruited by one of the daughters of the former President Jacob Zuma, the former Member of Parliament Duduzile Zuma Sambudla. In fact, many have linked her resignation from Parliament to this scandal. We're going to speak to Jabulani Khumalo, who is the person who founded the MK party. What's clear now is, of course, he was just, the errand person, because Jacob Zuma, as soon as he could, came and took that party away from him. He's been expelled from the party, but he's been keeping a close eye on the story. He was at the airport to welcome the returning soldiers. He doesn't really speak to the media that much these days, so we're lucky that he's agreed to speak to us. And we'll just find out exactly what's going on and what is the need of the hour. I'm keen to know if the former president or the Zumas in general helped these poor chaps at all. And then I was reading a couple of stories yesterday in the papers. News 24 has a brand new story out this morning on the Passenger Rail Agency of South Africa. Billions spent to refurbish trains that were never intended to be used. It's a shocking story. There was a story in the Sunday Times yesterday about Velkom swimming in sewage, the center of Velkom. Can you imagine what that must be like to smell it? It's one thing to jump over a puddle, right? And you move on. But to smell it every time you open a window in this heat. You know what sewage does when it's hot? How do you live like that? And that kind of thing has become so normal that it actually isn't shocking. That there are people, how big is Velkom? How many people live in Velkom? Isn't that a couple of hundred people? Arto, remember they had this whole idea that they were going to centralize the traffic fine system so that, if you've got a traffic fine in, Oudtshoorn and in Ballito and in Johannesburg, the system is centralized, right? And of course, remember, there was a whole demerit system planned. The more tickets you have, the more violations you have, the fewer points you have, and eventually they take your license away. Now, the organization Undoing Tax Abuse is raising the alarm about Arto trying to outsource this to the private sector, which then means there's a profit incentive in how fines are issued, which is then no longer about violations, but trying to make money, fleece the motorist. That's one story. Now we're also being told Joburg and Tshwane are spending billions because of the water infrastructure collapse. On what, you wonder? The water tankers. Mom, Dad, I want to be a businessman. What business do you want to enter into? Charlie, Mpo. I want to make movies. No, my child. That's going to take too long. You know what business you ought to enter into? We know someone at the metro. We know someone at the municipality. Water tankers. That's the way to go. Right? Imagine that as a conversation at the dinner table. It's not far-fetched, is it? It's not far-fetched. The thing that bothers me more than anything, I mean, quite apart from any of those stories, and there are lots more, what consequence have we seen? What consequence have we seen? Abo Imogen. What's her surname? The former Ekurhuleni city manager. Mashazi. They boast of their Louis Vuittons. And what was that watch that she had? 100,000 Rand watch or whatever. You know, anytime you see people with like matching luggage and matching tracksuits and sitting, enjoying business class on social media, you think, And they boast about their wealth. They don't hide it. Yes, I know people like Hamilton Ndlovu got nabbed, but the vast majority don't hide it. Their girlfriends don't hide it. Their Ben 10s don't hide it. They're ill-gotten gains because they know they're going to get away with it. When will this era of impunity end?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
So our big interview this morning is with the chair of the Public Service Commission, Professor Somadoda Fikeni, and he will talk to us exactly about that. When will this era of impunity end? But I want to bring you up to speed with news from elsewhere in the world. You remember we told you about this politician in Texas. I think is running for the Senate, right, in Texas. He was meant to be on a late-night talk show with Stephen Colbert, and then the network said, no, don't put him on. And it went to YouTube, and of course, millions and millions more people saw it than would have if they just left this guy alone because they didn't want to highlight a Democrat. So now the Republicans, I mean, it feels like we're in the middle of 1984, right? The book, not the year, although the book is based on the year, but you know what I mean. Republicans in the state of Texas want every school to display the 10 Commandments. As in the biblical 10 Commandments. You know, the ones that don't tell you anything about slavery. You know, the ones that don't tell you anything about gender-based violence. You know, those ones that forgot those issues. You know, the ones that don't tell you about child abuse. Those commandments. They say if you want public funding, best you put up the 10 Commandments. Doesn't matter what faith you are. In public buildings. Huh? Separation between church and, what was it again? What is it, Mateo? You know these things?
Is it state?
Ah,
Yes.
That's the one. Not for the Republicans. So James Tallarico was in the local legislature and is taking aim at the Republicans and their push for the 10 Commandments. It's riveting. Have a listen.
What is the fourth commandment?
Keep the Sabbath.
Part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath.
That is, yeah,
What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
it is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the 10 Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you said that because
You're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the 10 Commandments than follow it yourself?
I would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the 10 Commandments in their classrooms.
If
Do
they are
members
donated.
of the Texas legislature follow the 10 Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage.
Right? What day is it? She says it's a Sabbath. And So we don't have to follow them. Because here you are, working on the Sabbath, because that's clearly in the Ten Commandments. We're all working, whether it's whichever way you cut the Sabbath. Is it a Sunday? Is it a Saturday? We are there working. But you want others to follow them, but we don't have to. He pressed them further. Listen to this. It's hysterical.
The ninth commandment is thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
That is, there might be one coming up in a minute if you keep talking. We'll see.
The seventh commandment is thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes.
I think that members of the legislature should focus more on trying to follow the Ten Commandments rather than telling others to follow them.
Maybe they didn't have them posted.
It is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law.
Right? So he says, so none of you have ever lied. You've never borne false witness. None of you have ever committed adultery. I mean, how far do you want to take this? Mixing religion and politics. It's a very dangerous mix.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
So here's a question. Mutewa, Amo, I want to know from you, when you're about to make a big life decision, do you have a council of trusted advisors that you rely on? Or are you one of those people who keeps it all in-house? Keep a steady hand. You don't want to jinx it. You don't want to put yourself out there in case it doesn't work out. You'll tell everyone once everything has been done. You trust your own instincts and you go ahead. And you don't want them to see how the sausage is made. Hey?
I think of 203. Depending on how big the situation is. If it's not that big, I'll take it on myself, and whatever the results thereof. But if it's a huge decision that's going to change everyone's life as well, I'm definitely going to consult. But it's not a big council, about 2 or 3 people.
Amo?
I think I do have a big council, hey? For somebody who keeps a lot of secrets, I think I do have a big, and it also depends on what the project is, right? But I do have quite a number of people. I think more than 5.
More than 5?
Yeah.
When you're about to make a life-altering decision, the one that's the game changer, do you have a council of advisors, people you bounce off your decisions, your thinking to, or do you just go ahead and they'll just see the success? You'll just wave at the crowds when all is said and done. I asked this, of course, in light of our first interview this morning, these 17 poor fellows trapped in that fight in Ukraine. You got to ask the question, whose advice did they get?
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
Mutel, you've got one of your own?
Yeah, I want to know from you and the 702 landers this morning, are you a sucker for a good discount? And do you follow what the brand says you must do, whether it's a loyalty program or you taking a picture of the product and sending it to their social media page? Are you willing to do things like that for discounts?
In my head. In my head, I am.
You don't have loyalty cards?
I do, but
Those
all
are
the
practical.
efforts,
The registering,
the effort, my effort is as far as having it.
yeah.
Don't ask me to post and scan and QR code and send.
Amu?
I don't mind. I'll do all of those. I really don't mind. I remember I will listen. If I do, I'll even ask you at the till. Aren't you supposed to give me a discount on this?
Based on the fact that I've...
Oh, I'll fight for the
Yes.
discount.
Yeah.
Oh, no. If I have the loyalty card, but it's fill this form and then go put that in, take your till slip and put it in the big thing because you could win a car. Some Msebenzi.
I'll tell you where
Too
I'm
much
asking.
Msebenzi.
702.
Weather.
23 after 6. What conditions can you expect this Monday? Temperatures in Joburg reaching 27 degrees. Showers and thunder showers are expected. For Enaching, your high is also 17. It's 29 for Pretoria. Bloemfontein max is at 22. Cape Town 27. Gqeberha 25. East London 26. Durban 29.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we start off with peak time delays on the M1 North approaching Boyson's Road. There's also a bit of a hold-up reported in Eldorado Park along the N12 East approaching the Golden Highway. And then if you're heading towards the Joburg CBD, do expect some delays along the N1 North coming out of the Golden Highway towards the Deep Kloof interchange. I'll have more traffic updates coming up, but if you see anything else, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Love is in the air this month, but your friends won't be feeling the love if you're late for book club. Fortunately, the Outsurance Pointsmen are here to ease traffic congestion so you can get to the venue on time. With Outsurance Pointsmen on the roads for the past 20 years, we can all get to where we need to be quickly and safely. With Outsurance, you really always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag PointsmanLove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
24 minutes after 6 o'clock, things you need to know at this hour. Are you a public servant? On Saturday, many of them took to the streets over a 9.5% hike. This is proposed by the Government Employees Medical Scheme, GEMS. Salaries, the members say, aren't keeping up, and they're complaining about shrinking benefits, rejected prescriptions, and more reliance on generic medicines. Workers say GEMS was meant to provide them affordable health care, but they're saying it is now being run like a profit-driven insurer. That's a story that is going to gain some tractions. Watch this space. Have you ever tasted meat, say a piece of chicken, and thought, is not make sure?
Not quite.
Would you be able to tell if your chicken was genetically modified? Or if it had, I don't know, more steroids? Doesn't it sometimes taste a little tougher?
It's the size that gives it away for me.
Right?
If it's too big to be true, then I know.
In the UK, major chains like KFC, Nando's, and Burger King have left what's called the Better Chicken Commitment. And that's a pledge they've all been a part of before, aimed at phasing out fast-growing chicken breeds. These are the ones prone to health problems and to obviously ensure better welfare for the birds. The chains are joining the industry-led Sustainable Chicken Forum instead, citing rising demand and environmental concerns. And animal welfare groups say this is putting profit over principle, sparking a debate over cost, ethics, and the climate. Early Sunday, the U.S. Secret Service shot and killed a 21-year-old man who broke into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida. His name is Austin Tucker Martin and is from North Carolina. And he drove through the North Gate carrying a shotgun and a canister of petrol. When officers ordered him to drop his weapons, he raised the shotgun and the agents fired and they killed him on the spot. But Trump and the First Lady Melania were in Washington at the time. More details from Adam Gilchrist in 2 hours' time. Some good news from history. Remember when you were a teenager or even as a student, you were dreaming big? Do you have that one friend who made it big? So I'm not talking that, you were dreaming you'd have a house or a job or a car. I mean, let's assume those are standard issue, right? But that friend who was going to start a business, who was going to do the outlandish, outrageous thing, and they actually did it. I'd really, really love to know. On this day in 1954, children at Arsenal Elementary School in Pittsburgh were the first to receive the polio vaccine developed by one Dr. Jonas Salk, and it's cut global cases by 99%. And I think that's an absolutely amazing, amazing achievement. But I actually wanted to tell you not so much about that, but rather about Michael Dell. Michael Dell. Dell Computers? On this day, 1965, he was born, and he turned his college dorm to launching one of the biggest tech empires in the world. Dell now has a market cap of $81 billion. Imagine being the roomie who was with him as he was dreaming, I'm going to start my own computer company. He was born in 1965. Wasn't that long ago, hey? Do you have that mate you grew up with, you were playing football with, and they've made it big. Tell us who they are. And then tell us why you're not one of them.
702.
The newspapers.
Swiso Zulu,
Good morning.
you're the one who made it big.
I am. No, truly, I am. I don't have a billion rand to show, but ever since I was 13, I've been telling people that I am going to work on radio one day. And I really
Look
have
at
made
you.
it big.
Look at you. Well, don't let me get in your way. Work on radio.
Right. In Mexico, Bongani, the most powerful drug lord in that country has been killed by the country's security forces. This triggered a wave of violence across the country after the man known as El Mencho died while en route to hospital in the capital, Mexico. He was shot yesterday during clashes with the security forces. And there was apparently a $15 million reward for his capture by the US government because there was suspicion that he was involved in the shipping of drugs to the US. So he's said to be one of the biggest Mexican drug lords to be taken down since the capture of El Chapo and Ismael Zambada, who were also the most powerful drug lords in Mexico. And so the situation has subsided now following the clashes with police and the violence in most parts of the country. And the president has said that everything is under control, and she has lauded the security forces in a post on X for calling for calm.
You also want to know why we've got so many water challenges in many municipalities across the country. The front page of the Business Day. The water boards that are tasked with providing bulk water and sanitation services. So these guys who support the municipalities, who manage dams, and so on. Want to know why often they're in trouble? Research by Business Day has found that only 16 out of 78 non-executives who sit on their boards hold engineering qualifications. 16 out of 78. Only 20% are engineers. And they sit on these boards and they make decisions about the management of water. And you wonder why the taps are running dry. The front page of the Sowetan, Zama Zama fear still stalks Sporong. Remember the premier who said, we'll bring the police, we'll bring in the army, we'll bring in. The media went away and the residents are back to being afraid. Mashaba and Zilla square off. You've heard both those leaders, of course, on this show, gunning for the mayoral chains of Johannesburg. Can't quite say, may the best man win.
EWN Business.
Are you a sucker for a good discount? Mateo wants to know. Do you participate in brand loyalty programs and do they work for you? What prompts the question?
Bongani health and beauty retailer Dis-Chem has recorded a massive increase in group revenue driven by its new rewards program. The company's shares were up 4% on Friday. The medicine dispensary partnered with Capitec to offer discounts to its customers for using their cards at the store. That gave Dis-Chem an access to Capitec's 25 million users. The group saw revenue growth of 10.1% in the 24 weeks leading up to February. They had new customers, around 550,000 of them after introducing this particular program. Now, under the Better Rewards program, pharmacy revenue increased by 13.5%, driven by increasing pharmacy boost engagement and high demand for over-the-counter drugs. Loyalty programs are essential in South Africa, with 82% of consumers using them in the 2024-2025 financial year to combat rising living costs. These programs heavily influence purchasing, with 77% of consumers relying on them for groceries and 51% relying on them to buy fuel.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to... the Checkers one. For me, what matters is seeing what you would have paid and then seeing it come down.
difference.
Yeah, no, it's very difficult to argue. Very difficult to argue with that one. Where's the rand?
The rand in a good position, 16.02 against the US dollar this morning, 18 rand 93 against the euro, and 21 rand 65 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $5,164 an ounce. It's up 1% this morning. Platinum also up at $2,183. Brent crude at $70.99 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Swisa Zulu, what do you have at this hour?
Well, Bongani, good morning. A 20-year-old man is expected to appear in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court today in connection with the murder of 9 people in Philippi East in the Western Cape. The suspect was arrested at his home over the weekend following a police intelligence-led operation. Officers say the suspect, along with another gunman, opened fire at a liquor outlet last month, and the police's spokesperson, Dake Gwala, says the attack is believed to be connected to ongoing extortion.
In the early hours of Friday, Operation Lockdown 3 members closed in on one of the suspects involved in a mass shooting. He will make his first court appearance in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court.
Meanwhile, in KwaZulu-Natal, 2 police officers accused of extorting money from illegal shebeen operators are set to appear in the Ntuzuma Magistrates Court in KwaZulu-Natal today. The sergeants based at the Inanda Police Station and Ntuzuma Magistrates Court are accused of demanding payments in exchange for not making arrests. Provincial Police spokesperson Robert Nechewunda says the pair was initially caught by community members last month.
When the community arrived at Inanda Police Station, they were perplexed to find out that the 2 police officers were not brought at the station, and nobody at the community service center had any knowledge about the suspects who were arrested for extortion.
Stellenbosch University says it's working on a case-by-case process to help students resolve outstanding financial blocks. The university says it has lifted more than 8,000 blocks for academically deserving students and cleared over 95% of restrictions linked to the National Student Financial Aid Scheme. Acting Dean of Students Leslie van Roy says the registration deadline has been extended to the 27th of February.
Students awaiting the resolution of financial matters have temporary access to our online learning platform, SunLearn, to ensure that they are not academically disadvantaged.
Van Roy says that the university is in discussions with NSFAS regarding student accommodation.
SU continues to engage with NSFAS, amongst others, on issues linked to outstanding payments and the classification of Stellenbosch as a metro for purpose of accommodation allowances. The university also proactively and continuously engages with student leaders to resolve registration and funding related matters as far as it is possible.
And the Mexican army has killed a powerful drug lord, Nemiso El Mencho Oseguera, in an operation that sparked a wave of violence in various parts of the country. The 59-year-old leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel was wounded in a clash with soldiers in the town of Talpalpa, and he died while being flown to Mexico City. Gunmen retaliating for the raid blocked more than 20 roads in western Jalisco State, which includes Tapalpa, with burning cars and trucks. The violence spread to other states as well. The Mexican President, Claudia Sheinbaum, has urged citizens to remain calm, and she said the central government is in coordination with state authorities. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 17 and 18 degrees, peaking at highs between 24 and 27 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes along the N12 west. This is between Atlas Road and the R21 turnoff. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic reported along the N3 north between the Geldernes interchange and Van Buren Road.
The top story this hour, a 20-year-old is expected to appear in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court today in connection with the murder of 9 people.
Amidst global uncertainty, Africa offers opportunities. At the African Markets Conference 2026, decision makers from across Africa and the world will explore how policy reform, market development, and private capital can accelerate sustainable growth across the continent at scale. Learn more at standardbank.co.za/CIB. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Alcohol drowns our hope and fuels our pain. Our streets are flooded. Our families are breaking. Women and children are not safe. Alcohol kills 100 people in South Africa every day. For more information, visit www.truecostofalcohol.africa. Increase excise tax on alcohol.
When choosing a medical aid, look carefully at the benefits. Like the benefit of cover that does more than just pay a claim. It pays you for living healthier with the Personal Health Fund from Discovery Health Medical Scheme. The benefit of checkups, dental visits, and healthy choices, earning you up to 20,000 Rand on top of your medical savings account for day-to-day healthcare. Just another benefit that makes Discovery Health Medical Scheme for your health like no other. Speak to your financial advisor or visit discovery.co.za to get a quote. Discovery Health Medical Scheme is a registered medical scheme.
South Africa's youth face a real crisis, with 8.8 million young people between the ages of 18 and 35 not in education, not in employment or training. But there is a solution. SA Youth is the country's largest free online youth recruitment platform, and it connects employers to 4.5 million young work seekers. The Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator is going to be on The Money Show with Stephen Krotis tomorrow at 7:10 p.m. We'll hear about how SA youth are breaking barriers. Only on 702. Let's walk the talk.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning Bongani, morning 702 team. While at the topic of Arto, I've booked a half day today to go and renew my license. I made all the necessary bookings, but I was told that I have got tickets that may stop me from getting my license. And those tickets were from being parked on the road and whoever issued it saying that the crack on my windscreen was obstructing my view. Can that really stop me from getting my license? Anyway, I'm ready. Let's see how it goes. Have a blessed week, everyone. Fair's Albertine.
Hi, Bongani. Talking about Arto, I've noticed ever since last year early, I've been receiving emails from Mid-City saying that I have fines. And when I asked around, even when I checked on Google, there were also emails from Mid-City saying that if we received an email saying wara is fraud. But then when I look at the domain of these emails coming directly from Mid-City, and they have my ID, they have my address, everything, and they are listing 11 fines of areas that I haven't even been to in the past 15 years. And I really don't understand whether Arto has outsourced this traffic fines payments to Mid-City. Would you please confirm that?
Well, I wouldn't readily know from the top of my head. That system isn't fully functional as far as I am aware, and that's part of the issue now and how they're going to do it. Don't ignore those things. I think find out exactly, make the queries, find out exactly when and how these fines were issued. That's the whole point, is that you can contest fines that have been issued. And as far as, having a cracked windscreen, yes, that could obstruct your view and it could lead to danger depending on the severity of the problem. And of course, yes, if you don't pay your traffic fines by a certain point, one of the ways they make you do so is to make sure you don't get your license renewed.
Good morning, 702, and happy Monday, and to all the 702 lenders. I grew up with black coffee in the dusty streets of Ngangilizwe, Mthatha. We were just a few streets away from my home. We used to go to the gigs together, the times of Miss Transkei, Miss Mthatha, and they were dancing. There were dancers with Shona, Umngobi, that is his name. And there were, I think, 4 of them. And he has made it. But he was always around entertainment, even at the time during high school days.
Oh, wow. Right? I mean, I love those stories. Did you grow up with someone who had big dreams? Everybody thought it's too much. They'll never do it. And they actually went and did it. We're telling you about the birthday of one Michael Dell, who started his business from his college or varsity dorm room, and it was the launchpad for one of the world's biggest tech empires. Dell Computers are now valued at a market cap of around $81 billion. Imagine having been his roomie, hey?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, I figured out what weekends are for.
Sport.
They are for relaxation.
Yes.
Sitting on your couch.
Yes.
watching cricket, watching football. Take your pick. Yesterday was a
welcome,
good day.
Welcome. And I get paid to do all of that, right?
You lucky fish.
An unbelievable day for South African cricket yesterday with both the men's and women's national teams winning. At the T20 World Cup, the Proteas men thrashed India by 76 runs. The Proteas posted 187 for 7. Man of the match Miller with 63 from 35. The bowlers stepped up. Jansen took 4. Maharaj took 3 as India were 111 all out. Here's Miller.
Scoring 187, I think we got. I thought it was a fair total. I thought, we were pushing for 200 plus, but then getting 3 wickets in the power play with our bowlers was just, it was, the guys bowled phenomenally well, backed it up with good fielding. So I really thought it was an all-round great performance, put them under pressure. It was good to get a win over them.
Proteas women beat Pakistan by 32 runs. South Africa posted 260 for 6. Player of the match, Liz, unbeaten on 93. She also took 2 wickets. Sanala Jafta, playing in her 50th ODI, got her first half century, and Sekakode followed up with 3 wickets. Here's Liz.
I think it's a big win for us. I think it's always great to start our ODI campaign in the year like this. Yeah, it definitely gave us momentum going into the next game where we can potentially get a series win. I think, in the past we've done pretty well at World Cups, but not so much at series, especially at home as well. Yeah, so we're trying our best, and hopefully we got the momentum on our side now to, go and get that series win the next game.
Arsenal beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-1 to stay 5 points ahead of Manchester City with 2 goals each for Eze and Gyökeres.
Can I say, I watched that game, actually watched it right to the end. If I was a Spurs fan, I might feel a little aggrieved. Well, it was the faintest of touches that disallowed that second goal.
Yes. Where Gabriel was apparently pushed. That
it was like a...
I've seen worse stuff in the build-up to goal, in casual defending, etc. Yeah, I think if you're a Spurs fan, you will feel aggrieved. But Gyökeres feels that though he scored 2 goals, it wasn't his best performance.
Yeah, in some aspects, I think it was a good one. Then in some other, I think I could have done a few bits better. But it was a tough game. But I think we showed much better things on the pitch today.
Liverpool snatched a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest, scoring in the 97th minute. Crystal Palace also scored in stoppage time to beat a 10-man Wolves 1-0. Fulham beat Sunderland 3-1. At home, both Sundowns and Pirates are out of the Nedbank Cup as Galaxy and Kazrick Stars advance. Also through to the quarterfinals from yesterday, Skekone, Milford and Jax Spears. In golf, South African Casey Jarvis winning the Kenyan Open, finishing on 25 under, 3 ahead of the field. And in rugby, France stays top of the Six Nations table. They beat Italy 33-8. Well, the Lions URC season back on track after a 34-22 win over the Sharks. They denied the Sharks the SA Cup and move into the top 8. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Guess what? The Dis-Chem 2+1 Health Foods Weekend is back. And this time, it's better than ever. Simply pick any 3 of your favorite healthy foods and get the cheapest one free. Look out for the Better Rewards icon and score an extra 10% off Better Rewards brands on top of the promo. We're talking anything from muesli, oats, sauces, spices, healthy snacks, free from foods and more. Don't miss Dis-Chem's 2+1 Health Foods Weekend, Friday 27 February to Sunday 1 March. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
Do you need more this year? More connection, more fuel, more culture? There's a place built for that kind of more. It's called WeWork, and it's done properly. WeWork South Africa offers entrepreneurs, remote professionals, and small to large businesses flexible workspaces for real focus. From hot desks and private offices to phone booths, podcast studios, and coffee on tap. Book your free guided tour at wework.co.za. WeWork. Made for work, built for business.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Why are you expecting a hike on fuel taxes next week?
They've been standing still for a fair amount of time now, for a number of years. You've got to understand that no increase in the general fuel levy or a lack of an inflationary increase in the general fuel levy is actually tantamount to a tax reduction. So they need to increase it by inflation just to stand still.
Kyle Mandy, tax policy leader at PwC South Africa.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA Corporate and Investment Banking, a proud sponsor of the LMA ICMA Loan and Capital Markets Africa Summit 2026. Advancing Africa's capital markets to drive sustainable growth across the continent. ABSA is a registered FSP. T's and C's apply.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and 2,000 Rand for the question. Simply WhatsApp us your name and an answer based on something you heard in the show that piqued your interest to 072 702 1702. SMS out to 451 0842 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hello, my name is Zaid Sidat. I am 10 years old and I go to Montrose Primary School. I want to be a sportsman when I grow up, and I am excited to play the Whiz Quiz with Uncle Bongani.
I want to know what sport you want to play when you grow up, or do you want to play all of them because you're just that brilliant, hey? Zakes, will you win 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
Let's catch up with the roads now. There's a protest in Tembisa, Amo.
Yes, Bongani, our faithful listeners have sent us messages regarding these activities. So if you're traveling within the Tembisa central areas, please be on the lookout. Already I'm seeing heavy traffic volumes on several routes like Olifantsfontein Road, as well as a main road and even Industry Road. So if you're traveling within the Tembisa area, do let us know of some of the roads that are also affected by these activities. And then if you're traveling on the N1 South Place between the Brockfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road, more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Amidst global uncertainty, Africa offers opportunities. At the African Markets Conference 2026, decision makers from across Africa and the world will explore how policy reform, market development, and private capital can accelerate sustainable growth across the continent at scale. Learn more at standardbank.co.za/CIB. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Hi. I need balloons.
Sure.
Now, my dog barked. Pretty sure he said potty.
Okay.
He was like...
At the Crazy Store, you'll find every excuse to celebrate.
Hi, me again. My houseplant survived another week. Where's your confetti?
And everything you need. Helium, gift wrap, dress up, and more. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find. To have a good party.
The decision to switch to Outsurers. Not only was it quick and easy, but gave us more favorable premiums and more cover.
Outsurance business insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get an out bonus of up to 10% of your paid premiums back for restaurants, pharmacies, and all other businesses? Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance business insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, we speak to Jabulani Kumalo, the founder of Mkondo Wesizwe. He's going to tell us about South African men trapped in the Russia-Ukraine war. But before we do that, let's give away some cash. Zakes is 10 years old and wants to be a sportsman later on in life. Zakes, a very good morning to you. Do you know what sport you want to play later?
Yes, I want to play soccer, cricket, and paddle.
Oh, you can play all of them. Let's see how you do in the sports question, hey? Good luck, Zakes.
Okay.
KG, start the clock. Spell the word history.
History.
Correct. What is 100 minus 25?
75.
Correct. True or false? All months have at least 28 days.
True.
Correct. What is the name of the princess in The Little Mermaid?
False.
Ariel. What is the capital city of Japan?
Hong Kong.
Tokyo. What word was named the 2024 Oxford Word of the Year? Was it brain rot or delulu?
Delulu.
Brain rot. What is the hardest natural substance on Earth?
Diamond.
Correct. True or false? Fish are unable to blink.
True.
Correct. Which word means brave? Is it bold or timid?
Bold.
Correct. Which fruit is said to keep the doctor away?
Apple.
An apple. An apple. We'll give you the apple. We'll give you the apple. It'll keep the doctor away. Zakes, you walk away with 700 Rand. 7 correct answers. Very well played, mate. No doubt you'll do just as well in sport in the future.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On to this now. Bring our boys home. 17 South Africans say they were lured under false pretenses to go and fight for Russia in Ukraine. This weekend, 4 of them returned to the country, saying they're lucky to be alive. They say they were plunged into a war they were not trained for and used as cannon fodder on the front lines. Traumatized, injured, one of them reportedly had his leg amputated. They've described racist treatment at the hands of Russian officers, their identities stripped, personal belongings burned, and thrust into combat without preparation. Five people have already been charged for recruiting them, but much of the anger for their families has been directed at the former Member of Parliament Duduzile Zuma Sambudla, the daughter of former President Jacob Zuma. In fact, many have linked her resignation from Parliament to this scandal. All right, we've got the founder of the Mkhonto weSizwe Party, Jabulani Khumalo, who has, in a sense, an insider's view on this story. Jabulani Khumalo, a very good morning to you, and thank you for your time. Welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning, sir, and good morning to the listeners in all of the world.
Right. Just to be clear, of course, although you founded the party, you're no longer a member of the party. I'll come to that in a moment. But Jabulani, firstly, you were at the airport to greet the returning men yesterday.
Yes, not yesterday. It was on
Friday, right?
On Friday.
Yes.
We went to greet them. In actual fact, we had hoped we'll have a few chat with them. Unfortunately, they were still under the processing of the police, so we couldn't have time with them. And we're hoping very soon we'll be able to talk to them and have a proper chat with them.
All right. What do you know about how they were recruited?
Well, according to the sources, we found that Duduzile Sambudla Zuma and her people started recruiting these men as they were going around on a campaign for the MK party, which they hijacked from us. And they started these wrong things, doing these wrong things to sell our men or traffic our men to a war zone.
Sure. What were they promised? What were they told?
Well, they were promised that they were going to be trained as a bodyguard for the leadership of MK, which was totally a lie, because that was not what, when they went there, they found. They were trained for a week, and then they were taken into the front lines of the war in Russia and Ukraine.
So hold on. They didn't go there to go fight the war. They were just going to get training to become bodyguards for the MK party.
That's how they were lured, but the truth was that they were being sold to the agent in Russia to help the fight between Russia and Ukraine. So Duduzile and her cronies, they knew exactly what was happening. It was not about going to try to be trained as a bodyguards for the leadership.
You use the word sold. That suggests money was exchanged.
Definitely, there was money exchange. The agent from Russia is looking, in actual fact, when we were negotiating for the return of our men, we found it difficult because of the money that was exchanged during the time when those men were trafficked to Russia.
How much?
There are two amounts that we have encountered. The first one was 14 million. The second one was 34 million. But we are still trying to get the proper amount, because those agents, they are still negotiating because they want their money, even though the two governments have decided that these men must come back.
How many are still there?
There are 14, because in actual fact there are 15. But the other two are now sick because the other one was amputated, the leg, and the other one is on a wheelchair. So, but they are getting treatment, and we're hoping the other 13 will be on the way today. We're hoping that today or tomorrow we might have them in our country.
Do we know?
Thanks to the government.
Do we know if they're all still alive?
Well, that info I can't divulge now because it's under the police investigation. We do definitely know that there are certain things that has went wrong, but we can't say much.
Are you worried, though, that not all of them will come back?
Very much worried and concerned, and we are calling again to our listening government, especially DECO, because when we ask them for something, they do work harder, and we're hoping that they are going to investigate even further about the other two men that are missing.
All right, you were the founder of the MK party. You were pushed out, and they might likely say you're saying all of these things because you're still bitter after being forced out. What would you say?
No. They didn't steal the party from me. They only stole the leadership. Remember the letter that they wrote that I'm resigning, and the signature that they put on that letter said that I'm giving Zuma a position as a leader of the party, not that he's going to be the owner of the Umkhonto weSizwe. I'm still the founder and the owner of Umkhonto weSizwe. It's only the leadership position that we are fighting in court, which he will be out very soon.
What is the need of the hour for the families of these men right now? What are they asking for right now?
Right now, as my leadership on the ground, we are working because we understand those people are frustrated and psychologically they have problems. We are looking for psychologists, anyone that can assist them to get their minds back correctly, and they also assist their families because they also traumatized. So we need as much assistance that we can give to them as possible.
Have the Zumas helped them at all?
I don't even want to talk about that surname of that man that is called the ex-president of our country, because he's a fool. He has sold these men to get money. He is not a man that we can trust, and the people must begin to understand.
Well, hold on. How are you linking the former president to this now?
He is 100% linked. There is nothing that Tutuzile does without him giving her the orders.
But didn't the former president write to the Russian authorities to have these men released?
He wrote that letter to cover so that the South African people could not know what has happened about those men. That was the only thing he was doing, because it had come to a light that he has sold the men to Russia.
Right. Jabulani Khumalo talking to us about those men stranded in that fight to Russia. He says they were sold. They were told they're going to be trained to become bodyguards. That's why they went. But they were put on the front lines. And he's blaming the former president, Jacob Zuma, for selling not just their souls, I imagine, but indeed their bodies.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Confronted with so much decay and destruction of public facilities, institutions, and even towns and cities, why does it appear that there is no consequence for those responsible? When will the era of impunity end? That conversation coming up after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Khaliks. Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
A Johannesburg school finds itself in hot water after alleged transgressions, and Robert Mugabe's son is expected to face a court in Joburg for a serious crime. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A primary school in Roodepoort is at the center of serious allegations of corporal punishment, victimization, and the humiliation of pupils. Parents, the school governing body, and some teachers allege that the school principal of Richvale Primary failed to act to stop the alleged abuse. The allegations prompted an investigation by the Gauteng Education Department last year, but months later, the SGB says it has not received feedback, findings, or indication of what action, if any, has been or will be taken. Nolutando Ngeno has the story.
School is meant to be a place where children feel safe and protected, but the hallways of Ridgevale Primary School echo the silent whispers of fear. Parents, the school governing body, and some teachers have described the environment as anxiety-inducing. This has challenged the trust that the school was once built on. While multiple formal complaints have been lodged against the school and its principal, to date, no solutions have come. Some parents say the absence of feedback has undermined confidence in the department and the school and raised questions about whether adequate learner protection measures are in place.
There's a lot of bullying cases that happen and they don't get reported because the kids feel like, okay, so I'll tell the teacher and then what?
EWN reached out to the Provincial Education Department for comment. They insist no recent allegations of humiliation or victimization of learners have been received. According to the parents, SGB and some educators, at the center of the dispute is a simple issue: lack of accountability. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
The son of former Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe is expected to appear before the Alexandra Magistrates Court today in connection with the shooting at his Hyde Park home. Balemain Mugabe and another suspect were arrested after a gardener was shot there last Thursday. The victim remains in critical condition in hospital while police continue searching for the gun used in the attack. Meanwhile, activists and Citizens Forum is calling on authorities to ensure the accused do not receive preferential treatment. Spokesperson Dennis Bloom says the matter must be handled without fear or favor.
Criminality must be treated purely as criminality, and politics must not play any role in the criminal justice system. Crime, and especially violent crime, is out of hand in the country.
The Parliament Ad Hoc Committee investigating allegations of corruption in the criminal justice system returns today to finalise its witness list as well as President Cyril Ramaphosa's submission. The committee will meet to discuss housekeeping matters, including questions that members of the committee have submitted to the President and the correspondence received so far. The committee meets after a brief break due to a busy parliamentary schedule in recent weeks, which included the State of the Nation address and a 3-day debate on response and a response by Ramaphosa. Babalondense reports.
While President Cyril Ramaphosa is not a material witness or implicated, members still want him to respond to issues around the disbanding of the Political Killings Task Team, or PKTT. Some members of the committee had called for Ramaphosa to appear in person, but the idea was not agreed to. Members who were opposed to the idea stated that Ramaphosa was not in any way implicated and written submissions would be more than adequate. But parties were given a deadline on when they should submit their specific questions to the President, who will also respond before the hearings conclude. One of the pertinent questions to be put to Ramaphosa is his knowledge of Minister on Special Leave Senzo Mchunu December 2024 directive that the PKTT must be disbanded immediately. Mchunu, during his testimony, told the committee that Ramaphosa had agreed with his decision and never expressed any concerns. The committee will conclude its business on the 31st of March after being granted another extension. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
And a landmine explosion has killed 9 people in Sudan. 3 children are among the people killed as they were riding in an auto rickshaw along a road in the frontline region of Kordofan. The war between the regular army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, which began in April 2023, has left Sudan with mines that have been destroyed and unexploded ordnance. The explosive that caused Sunday's deaths could also have dated back to previous rebellions that have shaken South Kordofan state since 2011. Gold is trading at $5,170.27 an ounce. The rand 16.02 to the dollar, 21.64 to the pound, 18.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $70.82 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on in Rand Park Ridge along Bezodia Drive. An accident reported right after Estate Road Drive. Several routes within the area also backed up as a result. Jim Fouché Drive is also heavily backed up. And if you're traveling in Tembisa, please be mindful of the protest activities that are taking place currently in Tembisa Central. Routes that are affected include Morafontein Road, Republic Road, along with Dane Road.
And in your sport, the Proteas men silence India with a 76-run win at the T20 World Cup. Sunil Less unbeaten on 93 as the Proteas women go 1-up in the ODI series to Pakistan. Arsenal beat Spurs 4-1 with 2 goals each for Gyökeres and Eze. And in golf, Casey Jarvis wins the Kenya Open by 3 shots.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 17 degrees, peaking at 24. Pretoria 18 and 27. For the Inageng 17 and a high of 25. The top story in EWN this hour. A primary school in Roodepoort is at the center of serious allegations of corporal punishment, victimization and the humiliation of pupils.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This week, all eyes will be focused on the budget speech. And as is the norm, there'll be a lot of talking. Yet, it is said the more things change, well, the more they remain the same. Like understanding that at Khaliq's, you will still get the best value for money. Hand-picked quality business suits in all colors and fabrics. That you'll find shirts, footwear and accessories, jackets, blazers and chinos too. You'll get excellent service and tailoring. So as you contemplate your budget, rest assured that at Khaliq's you'll get more for your budget and a lot less speech. Khaliq's, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 7 o'clock. So much in the news cycle. We say this all the time, including, of course, more details emerging about Bellarmine Mugabe. It's an interesting name, hey? Bellarmine Mugabe. Another suspect also arrested after a gardener was shot at that property on Thursday. The victim, of course, remains in a critical condition in hospital as police continue to search for the gun that was used in the attack. Donald Trump receiving a slap from the U.S. Supreme Court insofar as his tariffs that he has used as a weapon in terms of America's engagement with the world. Earlier, I played you a clip from the would-be Texan Senate, James Dallarico, taking aim at the Republicans who are trying to get the 10 commandments to be placed in school classrooms or risk losing federal funding. And it raises that awkward conversation about not separating state and church, religion and politics. He's not one of my favorite people. I often disagree with much of how he sees the world. But the former Fox News host, Tucker Carlson, interviewed the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, recently. And one of the conversation points they had was Huckabee's stated reason for why Israel's territorial claims in the Middle East are justified. Have a listen to this exchange.
You've appealed to Genesis. Genesis 15 says it's pre-Abraham, it's Abram, receives from God the news that his descendants will inherit the land. And you tell me as the theologian if I'm getting this wrong, but from the Euphrates to the Nile. I think that's right. And that would include basically the entire Middle East. That would be the Levant, so that would be Israel, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon. It would also be big parts of Saudi Arabia and Iraq. It would be, I'm not sure it would go that far. It would be a big piece of land, but here's the point. It would be a lot of places that are now countries. But this particular area that we're talking about now, Israel, is a land that God gave through Abraham to a people that he chose. It was a people, a place, and a purpose. We can look at it that way.
So essentially the conversation is around, can you use the Bible or any other so-called scripture to justify modern political claims? The conversation continued with Carlson basically pressing Huckabee about, well, if that's your justification for this territory, you're going to use that book as your reason, then why don't you take all of it? And listen to the extraordinary response by the U.S. ambassador to Israel.
7 in 1 year, and now we're moving toward war with Iran. The average American doesn't want that war. The average American is outraged. Don't you understand?
I'm not attacking Bibi at all. The strongest president I've ever seen in my lifetime, going back to Eisenhower, for God's sake.
If you're an American...
No, listen to me, Tucker, for God's sake.
I'm not attacking Trump. I like Trump.
I know, but you're making it sound like that he is being pulled into something that he really doesn't want to do, or pulled into something because he's persuaded. I was in the meeting last week. I was in the meetings last summer. summer. I can assure you, President Trump is not being led into something at all by
be clear,
Prime Minister Netanyahu.
To be clear, what I am stating out loud is true, and that's that Prime Minister Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu, has way more influence over Americans' foreign policy than Americans do. And we know this because he wants a war with Iran. The overwhelming majority of Americans don't want a war with Iran, and we're very likely to get a war with Iran.
So a war with Iran is something that Tucker Carlson and the U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, were debating.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
13 minutes after 7 o'clock, things you need to know. If you're a public servant, if you are on the GEMS medical scheme, well, there have been protests with many members saying that their salaries are just not keeping up with premium hikes. 9.5% is what they're meant to pay more, and they're saying on top of last year's 13.4% increase, the burden is simply too heavy. And early Sunday, U.S. Secret Service officials shot and killed a 21-year-old man trying to break into Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach. Trump and his First Lady Melania were in Washington. Ever wonder if the Grammys can sometimes be indecisive? Well, in 1978 they were. History was made when the Song of the Year ended in a tie. It was Barbara Streisand's Evergreen and Debbie Boone's You Light Up My Life. And they shared the spotlight and was the very first deadlock in the Grammys for that category.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Let's catch up with the roads now. 14 after 7. Peak hour delays. Amo?
Indeed, Bongani, and if you are traveling within the Tembisa area, please be on the lookout for those protest activities that are taking place within the area. Routes that are affected at this current moment include Modderfontein Road, Dane Road, as well as Republic Road. I'm also seeing some delays along the Zulfontein Road as well as Mooiverfield Drive. So please be on the lookout and drive with care. Rather use the Mark N1 North towards areas like the city of Tshwane instead. And if you're traveling on the Mike 1 South, we've got a major accident scene reported right at the Crown turn of delays coming out of the double-decker section. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Think fast. Fast downloads, fast streaming, fast wins. Because whether you're chasing high scores, deadlines, or the next episode, buffering is not part of the plan. And that's why your home needs the power of open fiber. Fast, reliable Wi-Fi that keeps up with your life. And when you sign up before the end of March, you'll score a free Netflix voucher. Level up your home connection with OpenServe Fiber and feel the difference speed makes. Visit openserve.co.za today. T's and C's apply.
What's with the camouflage, Dorf? I'm going hunting. Just me, nature, and my most underrated off-roader, a rental car. Hunting? You could fit that little car in your backpack, Dorf. I sit in the driver's seat. Baggage at the back, chairs on the roof. The kudu is going to get in and strap its own seatbelt, Savvy. Could do with more legroom, Dorf. Go hunt for a new 4x4 at WeBuy Cars. They got great deals. Oh, shot, Savvy.
Don't be doof, be savvy. We buy cars geared for that big trip, geared for you.
Naked people smell expensive because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums and more money on fancy French colognes with names they can't pronounce. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start smelling like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock. I don't know about you, but of course, as somebody who works in the news and current affairs, we have a sense of what is happening around the country. And there are so many stories that ordinarily ought to be alarming, but in a sense have become almost normalized. Let's just take a cursory glance at, yesterday's Sunday Times, right? From Johannesburg and Tshwane spending millions on water tankers as water infrastructure collapses. The town of Welkom drowning in sewage. Now that just sounds like just a line, but imagine being a resident. It's one thing to jump over a puddle, as I was saying a little earlier on, but can you imagine living with open sewage flowing in front of your yard? What happens in this heat when it gets really, really hot? The smell, worrying about what your feet touch, your tires, and whether or not that stench will come into your home. These things have become normal in South Africa. There was a story just yesterday about Arto and the delays in the rollout, and now that being outsourced to the private sector, and of course concerns raised about a possible profit incentive. Today, News 24 is running a story on how a firm scored millions from the passenger rail agency, billions blown on old trains which are still not operational. When was Thuli Madonsela's report derailed? It came out in 2015, I think. What is going on? Are we going to be bystanders and watch the destruction of the country? Because the bigger thing for me, as shocking as all these stories are, it's even more shocking that there appears to be a sense of impunity. Very little consequence for those involved. Just yesterday, the Sunday World ran a story on a CEO appointed at a hospital in the Free State who is a convicted fraudster. And the explanation from the Premier is that, oh yeah, but this guy he's been in the health department all this time, so what was I going to do? Professor Somadoda Fikeni is the chairperson of the Public Service Commission and joins us now. I've outlined the stories that have concerned me, Prof. No doubt you've looked at them yourself. And just forget who you are as an academic, forget who you are as the chair of the Public Service Commission. I'm going to ask the citizen, Somadoda Fikeni, surely you too are worried.
I am worried because it is quite clear in my mind that there is political economy of inefficiency, where inefficiency is not by default but by design. And it is where many of the people conduct their corruption, sometimes because issues such as your maintenance, issues such as having an integrated biometric system to register people who might have been fired at one stage, imprisoned for corruption, you do not have that central data bank. And it is not because the country is not capable of having that. But I do think that there is a method in this madness where mainly your business, political, and sometimes civil society elite benefit from these inefficiencies. And sometimes they will use the complexity of the rules, they'll use every other thing else. And when they've failed, they'll use the lawyers, the most expensive. And sometimes these lawyers are funded by the very same funds which have been looted.
Just explain to me, because you are painting a picture of a nexus, if you will, of role players behind the scenes who stand to benefit. In other words, that it isn't just a corrupt official in one department, in one institution, in one municipality. Are you saying that there's a wider conspiracy here?
It looks like, even though the role players may not see it as conspiracy, sometimes, for example, when I came to the PSC and I learned that somebody had been on suspension for 12 years, in which country on earth do you allow for such? When we spent 6 months in the Eastern Cape and Limpopo, where we were struggling with the delivery of books, you know that a village woman or a township woman, if you said we're having a problem, schools are opening, they would organize bakkies and say, give me a delivery note. Not in our case. We said no, there was a tender somewhere and so forth. So I'm now convinced. Of course, the positive thing is that the society has seen that the monies being spent are not government monies, it's their own taxpayers' monies. And when we run out of such money, we come back to the taxpayers. And also the country at some stage has been borrowing 2 billion rands per day and using half of that money to service the same debt. This is not sustainable. We need to mobilize the same way we mobilize against apartheid to fight corruption and inefficiency, which is choking the country.
We've seen a pattern, rinse and repeat, right? Reports are commissioned, findings made, recommendations made. There's a sense of outrage when we hear all of this information, and on to the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
The problem is that we are a noisy, argumentative, and temperamental democracy that is obsessed with headlines. We work on a headline and sensation. Next week, we move on. Instead of having a strategic foresight to say, what are the threads, what are the undercurrents which are defining these things, and beginning to address them, but also to say, in 5 years, in 10 years, if we continue on this trajectory, we even developed the Indlulamity scenarios to say, should we not do A, B, C, D, E? We will be in a vulture culture society. We will be in the Hadida society and so forth. Should we do the right thing? We will be in the weaver bird scenario. So all those tools, thinking about the future, all countries, India, China, many others, which have lifted hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, started being globally competitive. They have that clear vision, that clear understanding of what is at stake as national interest, but we are so fragmented to do that.
Prof, I'm going to interrupt you there and say, whilst many countries have done exactly what you have just mentioned, at the heart of those choices has been political will and political leadership. Beyond those who may profit or benefit or even organize in a corrupt system, my big question is, where is the leadership? I mean, the front page of the Business Day today, they've done an investigation in which they have found that only 20% of non-executive directors at our various water boards are engineers or specialists. And we wonder why it is we're having so much infrastructure failure around the country when it comes to water.
Until we adopt a notion that we are the leaders we've been waiting for, because most of the time we've externalized this either to political leadership, to business leadership, to some magical person elsewhere. But the moment we start taking interest and participate in that space and also support some of the reforms, such as your protection of whistleblowers, professionalization of public service, indeed, everyone else says we have a crisis of leadership at every level of our society. But the other thing that we do not talk about in the main is state capacity. Most of these countries have invested in a professional, ethical, and developmental public service.
But we know what happens here. We know what happens here. If you're not aligned with a political principle who has a particular agenda, you're pushed out. And when you say we must be the leaders we want to be, I mean, how does an ordinary citizen listening to our conversation, I mean, let's take, for example, this CEO appointed at a hospital in the Free State in Ladybrand. This is a convicted fraudster who has apparently been in the department since his conviction, now appointed as a CEO of a hospital where he's got oversight of a lot of money in terms of that budget. How do I, as an ordinary citizen, prevent that or have any influence over a decision like that? What do you mean we must mobilize?
There are a number of things you can do. If you see such a thing, you call the anti-corruption hotline and see what happens. But also elections are around the corner. Make political leaders very uncomfortable when they do not follow up on things. And you also have community forums and many other things. If you happen to have a person who is in this or that department, ask those questions. You are in this government, you are in this parliament, you are this political party, because these days the issue of absolute majority is gone in many provinces. So other parties now have more muscle.
What happens,
to demand.
Prof, what happens to those people who feel a sense of defeat right, who think that what's the point of voting? These people are going to come together. There'll be a GNU. There'll be a provincial, government of unity. They'll form coalitions. They'll still plot together and help each other look the other way.
All they have to do is to look at the options we have: despair or hope. Hope you have to put a bit more effort. Imagine slaves if they said, how will we defeat this monster of slavery when they have guns, they have everything, they have isolated us? Women's rights, apartheid struggle against apartheid, all those, it looked impossible until it was done, to paraphrase Mandela. So in this case, we should not leave democracy at the point of elections. It needs eternal vigilance.
Professor Sumato Dafikeni, the chairperson of the Public Service Commission, essentially saying, don't just watch this movie. Do something about it. I'm going on a campaign. Quite clearly, I don't want to be voted into any office. My campaign is simply this: vote. Vote, vote, vote. I don't care who you vote for. Vote. Make the political class, the political leaders know you care about your vote and that your vote counts. Vote, vote, vote. Convince others. Bring them along with you. Organize your friends, your WhatsApp groups, your family groups. Make sure everybody's registered. Give transport if you need to. You bring the sandwiches if you must. But vote, vote, vote. We cannot watch this destruction and decay and throw our hands up and say, it's the comrades, they are eating. What are you and I doing about it? There is one thing: vote, vote, vote.
EWN Business.
The CEO of SPAR has resigned, Muteo. I'd imagine that will impact their shares. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani. Yeah, shares on Friday going down 7% on that news. SPAR CEO Angelo Swartz has resigned and will leave the company at the end of this week. Swartz has spent nearly 2 decades with the group, including 2.5 years as CEO. He was appointed in October of 2023 following a turbulent period for the company. The SPAR Group has experienced a severe multi-year 1.6 billion rand crisis following a failed execution of its supply chain SAP system at its KZN distribution center. The botched rollout caused massive inventory shortages and as of early 2026 has led to a 170 million rand lawsuit from its franchisees. Now, Swartz has been accredited with helping to steady the retailer, focusing on its home market and exiting its loss-making businesses in Europe and Poland and Switzerland. Reza Isaacs, the current CFO, will take over as CEO as early as March.
Your indicators?
The rand 16.02 against the US dollar, stronger this morning, 18 rand 93 against the euro, 21 rand 66 cents against the British pound. Price of gold $5,155 an ounce, or platinum is also up by more than 1% at $2,178. Brent crude at $70.89 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, some consequence this weekend in Mpumalanga.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. 27 people accused of defrauding the province's education department are expected to appear in the Nelspruit Magistrates Court this morning. The suspects were detained during a hawks operation in Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Limpopo and the Western Cape. 9 department officials, 14 service providers and 4 others were allegedly involved in the multi-million rand fraud scheme more than 5 years ago. They are accused of submitting false and inflated invoices for services rendered to the department. Hawks spokesperson Mohaseni Nkosi says more arrests are expected.
Following a lengthy investigation on the irregularities within the Department of Education in Mpumalanga, we as the host can confirm that on Sunday 22nd of April 2026, we conducted a takedown operation whereby 27 suspects were arrested. We are hoping to get the other remaining suspects arrested in due course.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi is set to deliver the State of the Province address today. He will look back on the provincial government's performance in the past year and outline its future objectives. The event will take place at Nasrec Expo Centre in Johannesburg at 6 p.m. Tabiso Goba reports.
One of the consistent calls Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has made in his 3 previous State of the Province addresses is for the military to be deployed in the region to fight Zamazamas. That's no longer an issue, as President Cyril Ramaphosa has already signed off on the deployment. Lesufi has also used his SOPA to announce the Gauteng government's temporary work initiatives for unemployed young people. However, Lesufi was left with egg on his face last year after the Gauteng Crime Prevention Wardens Program, unofficially known as Amapanyaza, was deemed to be unlawfully constituted by the public protector. The DA in Gauteng, which is the official opposition, has urged the Premier to drop what it calls pie-in-the-sky ideas and focus more on the basics of provincial government. Meanwhile, the Umkhonto weSizwe Party is planning to march from Soweto to the Nasrec Expo Centre, where it will demonstrate against the event which it calls useless and a platform for empty promises. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
A 20-year-old man is expected to appear in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court today in connection with the murder of 9 people in Philippi East in the Western Cape. The suspect was arrested at his home over the weekend following an intelligence-led operation. Police say the suspect, along with another gunman, opened fire at a liquor outlet last month, and the police spokesperson Dake Gwala says the attack is believed to be connected to ongoing extortion in the area.
In the early hours of Friday, Operation Lockdown 3 members closed in on one of the suspects involved in a mass shooting. He will make his first court appearance in the Mitchells Plain Magistrates Court.
And the International Criminal Court will begin a hearing today to decide whether former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte should stand trial for crimes against humanity linked to his deadly anti-drug crackdown. The confirmation of charges hearing, taking place over 4 days, will determine whether there is enough evidence against Duterte to proceed to a trial. The 80-year-old will not be present at the hearing in The Hague after the court granted a defense request to waive his rights to appear despite judges ruling that he was fit to take part. ICC prosecutors have charged Duterte with 3 counts of crimes against humanity, alleging his involvement in at least 76 murders between 2013 and 2018. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with showers expected later. The temperatures are at lows of 17 and 18 degrees, peaking at highs between 24 and 27.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 West. A major accident has happened right near Craft Road. Delays coming from the R21 turn off. There's also queuing traffic reported on the N3 North between the Airlines Interchange and Morafontein Road.
The top story this hour, 27 people accused of defrauding Mpumalanga's education department are expected to appear in the Nelspruit Magistrates Court.
Different sounds, different worlds.
Different artistic expressions, music, art, and fashion collide. Are you coming? Let's go to the place where the beat drops, the fashion pops, and the art rocks.
We're talking Focalistic, Dali Wonga, Mafigi Zolo, Kurt Darren, Matera Doughboy, Zoe Mujija, Claire Johnston from Mango Groove, the Tswani Gospel Choir, and more. Mahindra Fusion Fest, Saturday 7th March, Sunbet Arena. Tickets on Ticketmaster now. See you there.
You could show your bank balance some love this month with awesome car insurance savings from Outsurance, like 43-year-old Gloria, who saves an unbelievable 513 Rand on her 2024 Audi Q3. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
In business, sustainability should share dividends with more than just shareholders. Let's make ROI include a return on integrity.
Get financial solutions for environmental and social impact. With R&B, sustainability yields more than good intentions. T's and C's apply. R&B, a division of First Rank Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongani and team. Charlotte in Rhodoport. I 100% agree with Prof. And you that we cannot just throw our hands in the air, especially about what is happening in the public service and corruption issues. I mean, it may not seem much for you in your little corner to speaking out, to challenging the status quo, to talking to your circle of friends and family. But if each of us does that, then it will make a difference. This thing that there's corruption and there's nothing we can do about it, I disagree. I disagree. There's definitely something that we can do about it. And if each of us start doing their part, then we won't have this movie just playing on and on for our future generations, for our children. I mean, we owe them that much. Thank you. Blessed Monday.
Bongani, I cannot agree with you more. People must stand up and vote. The politicians think they can dictate how things can be done because all of them are criminals. They are now not even holding each other accountable. If we as South Africans don't hold them accountable through our vote, this country will go down the drain.
I mean, wasn't that powerful, what Professor Figeni said? That imagine the people who experienced slavery. If they just folded their arms and said, what can we do? Right? We talk now about equality and women's rights. Imagine if women were still barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, not allowed to have careers. If women didn't stand up and say, hang on, we too want a seat at the table. We're half of humanity, for Pete's sakes. And on and on and on. It's one thing to be shocked at some of the things that we see in public life in South Africa. It's quite another to just watch this movie. I saw a great quote yesterday in one of the papers. I just can't remember who wrote it, but it was something along the lines that democracy isn't about selecting good leaders. The real strength of democracy is how it can root out the bad ones. And I thought, ooh, boom, right? It's not so much about selecting the good ones. I mean, hopefully that's what we choose. But what democracy really, really is supposed to do is to root out the bad ones. Isn't it time we took that seriously, took it to heart, and rooted out the bad ones?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. It's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first we've got 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then later 2,000 Rand for the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask Outsurance for 500 Rand. Today's answer comes from, is it Jabu or Jabi?
Jabi.
Jabi. Good morning, Jabi. Can you please give us today's answer?
The answer is 1978, bonus.
1978. Jabi, tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
I'm a member.
You remember? Your biscuit. Yes. 1,000 Rand is coming your way. All thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Thank you for that. Jabi says the answer is 1978. What's the question? Tell us if you know on 011 883 0702.
Morning, Bongani. Weekends are for nothing but rugby. Rugby, rugby. I'd rather swallow 500 nails than watch cricket and golf.
702 lenders, bangles in the team. Cindy, no, something's not right. Why is Bongani not saying anything about the Pirates game? I'm also very hurt because of how it went, but usually he would comment about soccer. Today he's just mute. No, man, that's not right, guys. Happy Monday. Have a great one. Shadi Kempton.
Batung.
WN Sport.
At the start of the show, I said it when I was chatting to Africa Melane about, and at the start of the show, I even made reference to Muteo on Instagram. He wrote on the Pirates official Instagram page how annoyed he was at how the team performed at the weekend. I did.
So you did that at 5:45 when you spoke to Africa, not on your own show. In the sport bulletin when you've got the moment, guys. We'll get there. I am going to mention it, guys. I'm not going to let it slide.
As you should.
I'm not going to let it slide.
But let's talk about the Proteas. I mean, I was worried because we were like at some point, 20 for 3? I think it was. And we'd elected to bat.
Yeah.
I really was worried.
And towards the end of our innings, it started to look like it was going to favor the batters, right? And I tweeted, what did I tweet? Something, not so sure our bowlers are going to be able to do this. And of course, everybody's reminded me that, where are you now? Well, I said not so sure.
Yeah.
I mean, to beat India in a T20 World Cup, the odds were stacked against us, and that's what makes the Proteas win yesterday.
Can I tell you what you've done for me? Can I tell you what you've done for me? You've made me look at all the pundits, all the commentators, all the people who predict this is going to be the player to watch. This is going to be the most important game. I roll my eyes at them now.
Yeah.
Because Cindy says you just never know.
You never know.
And it's true.
You never, ever know. And yesterday, it's all good and well to reply to me on Twitter and go, well, where are you now? Well, guys, the majority of people would never have believed that the Proteas would have pulled off that performance yesterday. And that's why we are so absolutely proud. 76-run thrashing of India in the Super 8s. Miller hit 63. The Proteas posted 187 for 7. Everybody felt that was 20 to 30 runs short, but it wasn't because Jansen came in, took 4 wickets. Maharaj took 3, and India were 111 all out. Man of the match, Miller.
They're an incredible team. But I think for us, in a tournament like this, it's about making sure that we do the simple things and making sure that we stay in our lane as a player and do the job and get the job done. We're a mature team, and that goes a long way under pressure. So
Proteas next play West Indies on Thursday. Today, Zimbabwe plays the West Indies as well. Yesterday, England beat Sri Lanka by 51 runs. Proteas women beat Pakistan by 32 runs in a first ODI. Sanay Liss unbeaten on 93. Sanala Jafta on 57. As they set Pakistan a target of 261. Skekone took 3 wickets there. Liss isn't disappointed to miss out on her century, saying she needed to get the team stable.
Team first, and I think the team needed lots of runs and for me to bat through. So it is what it is. Hopefully there'll be more opportunities.
Arsenal beat Tottenham Hotspur 4-1 yesterday with 2 goals each for Eze and Gyökeres. Gunners are 5 points ahead of Manchester City now. Boss Mikel Arteta.
I cannot be prouder and happier for what I've seen out there. The way we lived the last 72 hours, because I think this game in particular needed some context. And after what happened against Wolves and the manner that we lost 2 points in the last kick of the game, it was tough. But that's the beauty of this game. And what we've done from the beginning to the end of the match, it was outstanding.
Liverpool scored on the 97th minute in a lucky 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Crystal Palace beat a 10-man Wolves 1-0. Fulham with a 3-1 win over Sunderland tonight. Everton hosts Man United. No more Nedbank Cup for Sundowns and Pirates. They were both knocked out. And it was extra sore for Orlando Pirates because it was 2 losses in 1 week because they lost to Sundowns in the league if you missed it on Wednesday night. And now they're out of the Nedbank Cup, losing to Casrick Stars on penalties.
Do you know what the nightmare is for the sponsors?
Why?
Because if either one of those teams, or even both, had made it to the final, lots of people, lots of attention. Now you've got these. Who's going to be there?
Well, from yesterday, Skekone, Milford and Jackson Spears. I mean, I'm going to Jackson. Now we got to back. Let's back Jackson Spears. Let's
back who?
I don't know. Let's just
There's
go
somebody
with,
in that car going, who?
Let's go with whoever's ranked the lowest. Put $100 on it now, right? In golf, South African Casey Jarvis won the Kenyan Open on 25 under, 3 ahead of the field with an eagle on the final hole.
Yeah, it was hard not to think of the bigger picture. All the emotions go crazy in your mind. I never knew there's so many things going on in my mind. It was crazy, but I just try to stay in the moment, play one golf shot at a time, and seemed to have worked pretty well.
And in rugby, France staying top of the Six Nations table after beating Italy 33-8. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
When you train for results, you don't quit halfway. Earn up to 7.35% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account. Access your money within 24 hours. Keep your money agile. Get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. For more information, visit nedbank.co.za. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
New deals for the Checkers Extravaganza are here. Save extra on
Top picks like Be Well Pure Canola Oil 2 litres for $69.99, save 20 Rand. Jacob's Cappuccino Sticks 10 per pack, any 2 for 110 Rand, save 40 Rand. And Pampers Jumbo Pack or Premium Care Value Pack nappies or pants, buy any 2 and get a third free, save 33%. Valid until 1 March, only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
Okay, truck 7, that has 0 warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without My Way's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Persia. Pretty tough. Among who's having a tough time in traffic?
People traveling in and around Tembisa this morning. Bongani, we've been getting phone calls as well as text messages from our faithful listeners about the difficulty traveling around the Tembisa area as a result of those protest activities that are taking place along several roads. As we speak, I can see we've got a road closure along Zoerfontein Road, right at Modderfontein Road, and then of course those hectic delays along Modderfontein Republic and Dane Road. So traveling within this area, very difficult this morning. Then heading towards Sandton, do expect delays on the Mark 1 South. This is between the Baku interchange and Grayston Drive. There's also queuing traffic reported along the N1 North heading towards Four Ways. This is between Beyaznodia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. While traveling in Caswell Park with Rodiport, we do have delays along Main Roof Road. This is just as you approach Cemetery Road as well as Main Reef Road. This is due to roadworks that are taking place along the route, and I'm seeing a road closure as well along Milestalker Road, so that circle is completely closed off to traffic this morning. Please do use alternative routes. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When your business needs strength, reliability, and serious capability, look no further than the Persia Professional Pickup Range. Built tough for South African conditions, Persia pickups are engineered for fleets, professionals, and the agricultural heroes who keep this country moving. From rugged load capacity to fuel-efficient performance, these pickups work as hard as you do. So whether you're building, delivering, or farming, Persia has a model that's ready for the job. Visit your nearest Persia dealership today and power your business with the confidence of Persia Professional. Landtrek, it's pretty but tough.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance, please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 1978, let's go to Dennis. Dennis, what's the question?
The question is, in which year was there a tie at the Grammys?
Do you know the category?
It was Barbra Streisand's Evergreen and Joe Brooks.
In what category?
I don't.
Something of the year. Something of the year.
Song of the year.
Song of the year. In which year was there a tie in the category Song of the Year at the Grammy Awards? That is absolutely the question. Dennis? 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. Congratulations. Could you decide? Barbra Streisand's Evergreen was the one song. I see this as, I hear Luther's version. Luther Vandross's version is in my head. I like Evergreen. Which one would you have gone for? Barbra Streisand's Evergreen or Pat Boone, You Light Up My Life?
So many nights
to sing me his song. So many dreams I kept deep inside me, alone in the dark. But now you've come along, and you light up my life.
Or do you just say, hi, it's a 1978. Like, I'm all for the classics, but you, we must stay there in 1978.
Don't pay more than you need to for car insurance. 27-year-old Outsurance client Liam is saving big bucks.
Saving so much every month, around 640 Rand.
That's an amazing 640 Rand saving on Liam's 2020 Ford Ranger. SMS out to 45142. Let's hear how 45-year-old Nivan feels about saving 461 Rand a month on his 2025 VW T-Cross.
Saving me so much money, 461 Rand.
Nice one. And after 3 claim-free years, you get an out bonus.
So much money.
Get a quote now and see how much money Outsurance could save you. SMS out to 45142. If you don't save, ask for 500 Rand or 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash. You have nothing to lose with Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Amidst global uncertainty, Africa offers opportunities. At the African Markets Conference 2026, decision makers from across Africa and the world will explore how policy reform, market development, and private capital can accelerate sustainable growth across the continent at scale. Learn more at standardbank.co.za/CIB. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Are you running a business? Every Rand counts. Save electricity and cut costs by switching off lights, computers, and aircons after hours. Use energy-efficient lighting and equipment and make saving electricity part of your daily routine. Smart energy habits mean lower bills and greener business future. Let's power success efficiently.
Let's use electricity wisely. Eskom.
From your pet's bowl to Belito Brew or Barcelona. Maybe Bordeaux? How about Brazil? Or Bots, Betty's, Baviance, Bella Bella, or even Benoni. Buy any Hills pet food and you could win one of 10 holidays worth 200,000 Rand each. Or take the bucks. Scientifically proven formulas for your pet. An adventure for you. Hills Pet Nutrition. Science does more. T's and C's apply.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
I thought it was just us.
Yeah, this one has touched quite a nerve with people. So you say to me, Kabazela, let's go for lunch this afternoon. And I'm like, great, what time? Yeah, cool, I'll be there. And then maybe 10 minutes before the time that we arranged, you said, listen, I've invited KG and Amu and everybody else is coming as well. Now, some people will think, but, you know, I thought we were just going to spend time together. And we were going to bond and we were going to chat about things and whatnot. And now it's a whole bunch of other people. Now, the guys in the studio, I'm just using you as examples. Don't get offended. So let's take a listen to this guy who says he doesn't understand why people will invite everybody else when you've made plans with that specific person. Let's take a listen.
I hate when people start adding other people to our plans because now I'm not going. Yeah, I mean, we had a vision, a vibe, a specific and limited number of people. Once you add more, it just becomes an event, and I didn't sign up for all that. Yeah, I agreed to see you. That's it. Not you and everyone you know. Now I have to be on. Now there's small talk. Now I have to reintroduce myself emotionally. The plan was different. It was simple. It was casual, low energy. And now it's turning into a group activity with side conversations. I just, and I won't say anything. I won't complain or put my foot down. I'll just quietly reconsider my entire attendance, because if I suddenly say I'm tired or something came up, just know nothing actually happened. You just invited more people, and I'm choosing peace.
Yeah, no.
I'm choosing peace.
I'm with him.
Are you? Do you get annoyed by
it? It's the small talk. It's the...
the fake laughing.
Yo.
This
is you, Bongani from... Where do I know you from? God.
Yeah, but... Yeah, you'd read my Sunday evenings for many years ago.
Oh, my word.
But, I mean, I suppose, like... Your situation, it happens. I mean, you just have to deal with that. But in a general setting, do you get annoyed if you've made plans with people and then you get there and now there's like 4 or 5 other people that have now been invited?
Yeah, because I want to talk to you about something. I'm going to tell you, maybe I'm going through a tough time. Maybe there's a big good thing. Now I can't tell you what I wanted to tell you about because this is your mate. Yeah, and I just wanted to hang out with you, Kabazet. I wanted to catch up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But now, if you are the person who always does this, so you set up the lunch or whatever it may be, and then you've invited so and so, but now you've invited X, Y, Z, and everybody else and their aunties. Why do you do that?
Please explain.
One person posted and said because they hate leaving other people out.
Aye. You do that on your own. Go get them in on your own. Let's talk about this. How do you feel with people who add others to your plans?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. You could save on your car insurance. Major issues in the capital, Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. The N14 East bumper-to-bumper traffic there between the Brockfontein turnoff and the Flying Saucer interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the R114 Ramti Road. This is due to an accident that happened right near the old Johannesburg Road. So please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This February, Outsurance's love language is saving you money on your car insurance. Like 35-year-old Becca, who saves an unbelievable 500 Rand on her 2022 Volkswagen T-Cross. Get a quote now, and if Outsurance can't save you money, you can ask them for 500 Rand. SMS out to 45142. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
This is EWN.
A principal accused of using school funds to buy alcohol remains silent, and the alleged killers of an e-hailing driver will appear in court again. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. While Ridgevale Primary School in Roodepoort faces serious allegations of corporal punishment and other learner abuses, the school's principal has been accused of gross mismanagement of funds. According to the SGB and some parents, Sindisiwe Baxter attempted to use the school's credit card to buy alcohol at a local Pick n Pay. The transaction was stopped only after a store manager alerted the school's treasurer. Some members of the school governing body have attributed the issue to a widespread governance crisis at the school. Noluthando Ngeno reports.
According to an internal investigation by the Gauteng Education Department, Ridgevale Primary School is allegedly indebted to Pick n Pay by more than 43,000 Rand, despite there being no evidence that the SGB approved that credit agreement. The report found that Principal Baxter used the school's credit card in an attempt to purchase alcohol, among other items, bypassing prescribed procurement procedures. These findings form part of a broader investigation into governance and financial mismanagement at the school, triggered by escalating disputes between Baxter and the school governing body. EWN reached out to Baxter for comment. Her response was unavailable at the time of broadcast. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
4 men and 2 women are expected to appear in the Pretoria Magistrates Court in connection with the robbery and murder of e-hailing driver Isaac Sutlat. In a shocking video widely circulated on social media, Sutlat is seen being robbed and strangled to death. The footage is believed to have led to police identifying and subsequently arresting the suspects. All 6 accused in the matter have been remanded in custody. 3 have abandoned their bail applications, while the remaining 3 could apply for bail today. Lishoro has more.
The first 3 suspects arrested in connection with the incident abandoned their bail application during the initial court appearance last Monday. It's not clear if any of the remaining 3 accused will apply for bail today. All 6 face various charges ranging from premeditated murder to robbery with aggravating circumstances. In a dramatic development on Wednesday, lawyer for accused number 4, Dumishang Mabutla, told Eyewitness News that his client intends to plead guilty to the charges and will also abandon bail. Accused number 5, Mabutla's girlfriend, Offenza Sonamadi, is charged with premeditated murder and robbery with aggravating circumstances as an accessory after the fact. Accused number 6, Tabang Mutwa, faces a charge of robbery with aggravating circumstances as an accessory after the fact. It is alleged that after disposing of the deceased body, the accused took the victim's vehicle to Mutwa to have the car tracker removed. Dimakazole Shoro, Eyewitness News.
The Parliament Ad Hoc Committee investigating allegations of corruption in the criminal justice system returns today to finalise its witness list as well as President Cyril Ramaphosa's submission. The committee will meet to discuss housekeeping matters, including question members of the committee have submitted to the President and the correspondence received so far. The committee meets after a brief break due to a busy parliamentary schedule in recent weeks, including the State of the Nation address and a 3-day debate and response by the President. Babalondenza reports.
While President Cyril Ramaphosa is not a material witness or implicated, members still want him to respond to issues around the disbanding of the Political Killings Task Team, or PKTT. Some members of the committee had called for Ramaphosa to appear in person, but the idea was not agreed to. Members who were opposed to the idea stated that Ramaphosa was not in any way implicated and written submissions would be more than adequate. But parties were given a deadline on when they should submit their specific questions to the President, who will also respond before the hearings conclude. One of the pertinent questions to be put to Ramaphosa is his knowledge of Minister on Special Leave Senzo Mchunu's December 2024 directive that the PKTT must be disbanded immediately. Mchunu, during his testimony, told the committee that Ramaphosa had agreed with his decision and never expressed any concerns. The committee will conclude its business on the 31st of March after being granted another extension. Babalo Ndenza, Eyewitness News.
And Russia has fired scores of missiles and drones at targets across Ukraine, crashing into energy and rail infrastructure and residential buildings. Yesterday's attacks came just 2 days before the 4th anniversary of Moscow's invasion. The capital, Kyiv, which Russia has regularly hit with missiles and drones since the start of the full-scale invasion, has faced waves of overnight strikes in recent weeks as Moscow has intensified assaults amid freezing winter temperatures. The intense attacks came the same day Hungary said it would block the EU's latest package of sanctions against Russia unless Ukraine reopened a key oil pipeline supplying the country. Gold is trading at $5,170.27 an ounce. The rand 16.02 to the dollar, 21.64 to the pound, 18.93 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $70.82 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North between Winnie Mandela Drive and Rivonia Road. There's also queuing traffic reported on the R21 North in the Tembisa area. That's due to roadworks that are taking place right near Olifantsfontein Road. And speaking of Tembisa, we still have got reports of protest activities taking place along several routes that are heavily backed up as a result. Routes like Modderfontein Road, Republic Road, as well as Dane Road.
And in your sport, Arsenal beat Spurs 4-1 to stay 5 points ahead of Manchester City. Also wins for Liverpool, Palace and Fulham. Proteas men hand India their second biggest T20 defeat ever. Proteas women go 1-up in the ODI series with Pakistan. And in golf, Katie Jarvis eagled the last hole to win the Kenya Open by 3 shots.
A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. The temperatures are at highs between 24 and 27 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. While Richvale Primary School in Roodepoort faces serious allegations of corporal punishment and other learner abuses, the school's principal has also been accused of gross mismanagement of funds.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Calling all the brightest minds in Gauteng. Time to flex your general knowledge smarts in the brain of 702. Enter now on primemediaplus.com. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock. You're listening to 702 Breakfast. If you've just joined us, welcome to the program. So far on the show, we've spoken to the man who founded Mkhonto Wesizwe, the political party, Jabulani Khumalo. He says it was his party, it was his idea. The truth is likely not quite that simple, is it? Jacob Zuma, for all intents and purposes, now, of course, in charge of that party, and Jabulani Khumalo has been ousted, right? It's all to do with these men who claim they were lured to go to the Ukraine to train as bodyguards. Do you buy that story? You need to go overseas to be trained to become a bodyguard? Russia loves us so much to fly us over and give us specialized bodyguard training that is apparently not available here in South Africa. If they'd come to you for advice, Muteo, ke a bodyguard ya Russia yantang. Batlong train Antoine to be a bodyguard. What would you have said?
When the people are desperate, it doesn't matter what I would have said. Also, it just sounds more prestigious. You're doing it overseas, so you're going to feel like
fly all the way.
A secret agent man.
Because it's such a special skill, such a rare skill.
Yeah, and you'll come back here with papers from Russia. You'll probably earn more. Desperation, man. Desperation.
I get desperation, but how many bodyguards do you know that were trained in Russia?
Not many, which is why people want to go.
Or would you say, Amo, there's some short...
Something is not sounding good there. It's too good to be true. That
right?
Yeah.
Would it matter if allegedly one of the recruiters is the daughter of a former president who always claimed to have a special relationship with the Russian president? Would that sway you? Would you go, but if the Zumas are behind it, maybe right, man. Or would you go, if who is behind it?
I mean, at this point, even if our president was part of it, it still doesn't sound good. It still doesn't sound like something to take up.
Well, we don't know if all of them are even going to come back alive. One of these men is now in a wheelchair. Another had his leg amputated. They were thrown into the front lines of the war against Ukraine. Cannon fodder, essentially. 4 of them are back. But will the rest return?
Good morning, Bongs. I think what Duduzile and her dad did, Zuma, they need to be arrested for what they did. You know, I think this is just modern day slave trade. I mean, how do you say you're taking people for training in Russia, but then Russia pays you to train your people? How does that even make sense?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
How do you feel about making plans with a friend and suddenly 3 or 4 others are coming to that hang? Maybe you don't even really know them that well because they're the friend's friends. Now you have all the small talk. Amo? Are you Amo Ramila from the radio? Now you have to explain. How did you start in radio?
Honestly,
what's Bongani like?
Honestly, the more the merrier for me.
Huh? Is Muteo really as... You know, is what you see, what you get. Yeah? Muteo.
Yeah. Look, when I was younger, it was the more the merrier. If I had a braai, I didn't care who you brought to my house. It didn't matter to my place. But now, I need to know. because I share that establishment or that house with other people. You know, you can't no, I'm bringing, and I know you're bringing 2 people with you.
Yeah.
And then you
Yes.
show up with 7 cars, and now it's a house party, and no.
Or it's people you don't know whose views may be unsettling.
But
Because you are
don't
the
even-
host. You don't want to offend, but you're like,
You don't even want to know their views. Sometimes it's just when you see, like what the example Mutero is setting, you're seeing cars coming to park at your house and you were not expecting you haven't prepared for this.
But we
number
brought
of
our own
people.
cooler bags.
Still, I personally didn't prepare for them. So I don't think it's about conversations. It's more than
For
that.
me, it's the what's KG really like? Does he start the clock?
So you don't have the social bundles.
No. I need to prepare. I need to buy enough social data bundles to prepare.
Oh, good morning, Bongani. You know, with adding people to your plans. At least if you tell me that you'll be bringing people, yeah, I'll feel better about it. I get annoyed, but I might come and I might have a good time, especially if I know the people. But, you know, the ones that annoy me, you know, the ladies who bring their partners, their husbands to every little girl's thing, or the girls are going out, their husband is tagging along. You're having lunch with them, their husband's tagging along. Hi, guys, we don't want to talk to your husband. We want to vent about our own people. And now you're bringing your husband. Hi, man. Stop it.
Good morning, Bongani. Roxette here. No, guys. Why are you... If you're going to invite me to a whatever, in my mind, it's an intimate setup between me and you, right? And now, if I get there and there's 4 or 5 other, that's an event. And there are mental preps, physical preps that go with every outing. So if it's an intimate, I know it's intimate and I know how to prepare. If it's an event, I know how to prepare. Please stop inviting other people to... Oh, God. Invite them on your own time.
Morning, Bongani and the team. I'm that friend. When you invite me, I will ask if I can bring 3 of my other friends. So I am that friend, and I don't know why I do it, but that's just me. If you invite me, I will ask you if it's okay if I bring my cousin or 2 of my other friends. In my mind, I think it's because I just want to spend time with everyone all at the same time, so I don't have to spend all my days. Today is Bongani, tomorrow is Amu. So if we just do it together and then there's just one day and we move on. We see from Dobsonville.
Aye, Busi, that's all about you. What about the rest of us? Who says I want to be with Amo? You may want to be with Amo. I see her every day. Now I'm saying, I do weekend. Aye, Batu. Sam, we're live and local. You're in Tembisa. What's going on in Tembisa?
Hey, dude. So I woke up this morning and all the roads are barricaded. You can't come out. You can't Uber. You can't e-hail. There's nothing. So again, it's back to square one with regards to rates and taxes. So the long and short of it, Bongani, is that I'm renting from an elderly couple.
Yeah.
That applied for that indigent program, and they were approved. But all of a sudden, I can't load electricity now because they've been told they owe 15,000. So, Tembisa is a mess, Bongani. Under Tanya Campbell, there were protests about electricity and there was violence. And again, under ANC with the Trakaza guy, there's violence again this morning in Tembisa. I don't know what it would take for somebody in Ekurhuleni to understand that they need to listen to people when they talk to them. We all closed up. People can't move on.
All right, Sam, 2 things. I'm trying to make sure I understand you. Firstly, you're saying there are protests. So everywhere in terms of where you enter or exit Tembisa, there are blockades.
Yes.
People are stuck there and can't move. And you're saying this is as a result of electricity issues. That's what people are protesting against.
Correct.
So there are no taxis, there are no Ubers, nobody can come in or out.
You can't do nothing. I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't even go to work. There's nothing. There's fire everywhere. The robots are totally closed. There's stones on the road. I can't do anything.
Are there Metro Police officers? Are you seeing anything from Ekurhuleni? Metro Police, South African Police Services?
Not at all, Bong, and I don't see any. I was standing right now on the main road in Tembisa, the one that's called Straight Line. I don't see anybody. I don't see any police, nothing. It's all fires, it's stones, it's roadblock, it's all, the roads are totally blockaded. You can't do nothing, you can't move.
When did this start?
Well, when I woke up this morning, because I normally leave home at about 10 to 6 to go to where I get taxis. And all of a sudden, I couldn't even get to where I get taxis because the roads were totally on fire. There were
burning tires, yeah?
The burning tires and rocks and everything. The taxis are not even moving. There's not even the local taxis. There's nothing. Nothing is moving.
All right, we'll try and get someone in a position of authority to help us understand what's going on and what the plan is. Sam, thank you for letting us know. If you're also in Tembisa and are stuck there, do let us know what you are seeing. Of course, there'll be concern about any threats to life or even property there. But Sam's saying burning tires, roads blockaded, all to do with electricity protests. And worryingly, of course, no cops on site.
EWN.
18 after 8, the CWN traffic brought to you by Persia. Pretty tough. Amo, I suppose that's what you are seeing in Tembisa?
Absolutely, Bongani. Road closures this morning within the city central areas within Tembisa. Klorkop Road closed off to traffic towards Zurfontein Road, as well as Modderfontein Road towards Republic and Dane Road. And obviously, if you're traveling on the R21 North, you'll be affected by these delays approaching Olifantsfontein Road. There we've got roadworks, and then, of course, these protest activities are adding on to the pile-up this morning. If you're traveling towards Midrand, do expect delays on the N1 South between Samarin Avenue and Olifantsfontein Road. There's also queuing traffic reported on the M1 South between Grayston Drive and Kohler Drive this morning. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
When your business needs strength, reliability, and serious capability, look no further than the Persia Professional Pickup Range. Built tough for South African conditions, Persia pickups are engineered for fleets, professionals, and the agricultural heroes who keep this country moving. From rugged load capacity to fuel-efficient performance, these pickups work as hard as you do. Whether you're building, delivering, or farming, Persia has a model that's ready for the job. Visit your nearest Persia dealership today and power your business with the confidence of Persia Professional. Landtrack, it's pretty but tough.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Let's get now in conversation with Standard Bank Corporate and Investment Bank to discuss the 2026 African Markets Conference. So this is a gathering designed to bring together international investors from around the world and the continent. And the idea is to match them up with public sector leaders, regulators, and policy makers. We are joined now by the Chief Executive of Corporate and Investment Banking at Standard Bank Group, Luvuyo Masinda. Luvuyo, a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me, Bongani.
AMC 26 African Markets Conference. What are the major objectives? Was I correct in how I outlined it?
Absolutely correct. This is the second year we're hosting it in South Africa. It's an event we previously hosted internationally, where, as you correctly put it, we bring together policymakers across the continent, with allocators of capital which are based both in the continent and, more interestingly, globally. And that is really to do a couple of things. First is to connect them and the capital to some of the large infrastructure gaps that require large swathes of capital across the continent, but also equally for the regulators to hear directly from investors in terms of the environment that they require to be able to show confidence in allocating this capital. And so it's a great mix of various groups of people who play a massive role in all that we're trying to do to solve some of the gaps around infrastructure and energy.
I mean, I was reading the other day something like 1 in 4 humans will be African by the year 2100. And I would imagine now is the time for these conversations to be taking place to make sure we're well positioned for that kind of growth.
Absolutely. And I suppose the key thing of our AMC conference, like we did last year, is to go beyond discussions, but to translate into real actions. And we So some good outputs and outcomes coming out of 2025 conference, and we're even more hopeful for 2026 going forward.
I'm having such FOMO not being there. Tell me about what the opportunities might be, because you're talking about beyond just a dialogue, but having real, positive outcomes. What are the opportunities when it comes to Africa's financing gap and capital alignment?
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because these themes I'll talk about are actually very consistent across the continent, including here in South Africa. And those are broadly into three buckets. The first is there is a massive infrastructure financing gap, estimated to between 130 to 200 billion dollars per year. And this represents a big development constraint. As you mentioned, we anticipate a huge growth in our population. And in the absence of sustainable infrastructure, that could actually be a negative rather than the positive that it should be. The second thing is that there is quite a lot of capital that exists in the continent. It's estimated approximately $4 trillion in domestic investable capital is available. But somehow this has not been unlocked. And this typically sits within pension funds, insurers, sovereign funds, and including banks like ours. The third is, which has been a constraint, is that policy credibility has been one of the biggest reasons and blockers for this capital to be unlocked. And that's hence the reason why we have the group of people that we have at our conference.
I suppose everybody can get in the way instead of finding solutions, particularly if there is a misalignment. It's all happening in Cape Town, the African Markets Conference. Appreciate your time. Luvuyo Masinda is the Chief Executive of Corporate and Investment Banking at the Standard Bank. A gathering designed to bring together African and international investors.
Amidst global uncertainty, Africa offers opportunities. At the African Markets Conference 2026, decision makers from across Africa and the world will explore how policy reform, market development, and private capital can accelerate sustainable growth across the continent at scale. Learn more at standardbank.co.za/CIB. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
702, The World View
With Adam Gilchrist.
Let's catch up now with news from elsewhere in the world. Adam, let's start with this intruder at Mar-a-Lago. I understand a 21-year-old man was shot and killed.
Good morning, Bongs. Yeah, this could have gone much worse. I mean, obviously not for the guy himself, but yeah, this armed man trying to get into Mar-a-Lago. He'd got through a perimeter fence. All kinds of alarms were going off. Ultimately, he was approached by two Secret Service agents and a deputy sheriff. The man allegedly leveled his gun, his shotgun, a guy called Austin Tucker Martin. And at that point, the agents then took action. His family back in North Carolina had actually reported him missing a couple of days before. It may not count as an assassination attempt because President Trump was nowhere near Mar-a-Lago at the time in Florida. He was in Washington. But we were talking about the polarization of politics in France last week. The polarization in America is extraordinary. Attacks on American politicians are up 60% in a year. Only last week, a man with a shotgun was arrested at the Capitol building in Washington. Last year, of course, Democrat Melissa Hortman and conservative activist Charlie Kirk were shot dead. Feels like longer ago, doesn't it? President Trump himself had a couple of attempts on him only 2 years ago. There's a lot going on, and it's worrying.
Emotionally charged is the word, is it not? Sticking with President Trump, Adam, insulting Greenland with kindness.
Yes. Is it, I suppose, yes. How insulting is it to absolutely foist on somebody a gift they don't want? I mean, most of the time, they should just smile benignly and hand it to charity. But in this case, a US hospital boat, we are told by Donald Trump, will be sent to Greenland because, quote, a great hospital boat filled with medical supplies is needed. There are many people on the island who are sick and not being taken care of. That is Donald Trump's view on Truth Social. And he attached a photo of one of the two hospital ships run by the US Navy, the USNS Mercy. But Greenland's Prime Minister, Jens Frederik Nielsen, says, no thanks. I mean, literally, no thanks. Greenland, he says, provides free healthcare for all its citizens, fair and free. He didn't add unlike America, but he might as well have done. And indeed, Denmark has also repelled this, saying, hang on a moment, we have, generally speaking, very good health and health service for all our citizens, including Greenlanders. So the offer of foisting a hospital ship on them, is it condescending, insulting, misguided, or is it actually obtrusive, invasive, and wrong?
Adam, now talking of invasive, I think it was sailors who drove them to near extinction, but they're back.
They are the giant tortoises. They've been on one or two of the Galapagos Islands before, but on the island of Floriana, they were basically eaten into extinction. We're going back nearly 200 years when they disappeared. Now, 158 captive-bred juvenile giant tortoises have been let free. I love the fact that the moment they got out of the crates, they were just off, and they might be tortoises, but they moved. This is part of the Floriana Ecological Restoration Project. According to experts, this is a hugely significant milestone. They have an enormous positive impact on their environment. 158 of them should actually establish a colony, therefore, on the island. But of course, as you have alluded to, the reason they disappeared in the first place is that they're just delicious. And once upon a time, sailors could not resist, particularly Royal Navy sailors, passing through, pick up a few giant tortoises to munch on the way back home for long voyages under canvas. Don't tell the giant tortoises how delicious they are. But there again, we don't eat giant condor pate or roast songbird, do we? So perhaps, we'll just leave the tortoises alone. They can do their thing.
Two things. I love how they instinctively knew what to do once they were let out in their natural environment. But Adam, don't knock it. Apparently it tastes just like chicken, but a bit softer.
Yes, buttery, I'm told. Yes.
That's this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Now, talking of Donald Trump, Mutero Khwaripe, the US Supreme Court essentially slapping him in the face for those tariffs. But this is Donald Trump. Is he taking no for an answer?
Yes, he wasn't willing to take it. In fact, he was digging his heels in when it comes to tariffs. The U.S. Supreme Court on Friday struck down much of President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs, but the White House leader didn't take the decision lying down. Just hours later, Trump announced on Truth Social that he'd be leveraging a new act to impose 10% tariffs globally and has since hiked them to 15%. The U.S. courts have raised concern over the mess caused by the tariffs for U.S. importers like Amazon and Nike, who of course have to pay higher prices to get those products in. Refunding importers will also be hard. An estimated $175 billion has been collected from tariffs.
He was his typical belligerent self after that ruling.
I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the penny. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries. Certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything.
Yeah, ne?
Yeah, US GDP falling as well on Friday. The economy not doing well as a result of those policy. There's also been some geopolitical repercussions from that court ruling. India will be delaying its planned trade visit to Washington to evaluate the implications of the ruling on Friday.
Your indicators?
Rand at 16.01 against the US dollar, stronger this morning, 18 Rand 93 against the euro, and at 21 Rand 65 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $5,158 an ounce, while platinum at $2,172. Brent crude at $70.99 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Mr. Zulu, not all medical aids are the gem they promise to be.
Nice one, Bongani. Good morning. Unions affiliated to Union Federation COSATU will meet today to discuss their opposition to a 9.8% contribution hike from GEMS, which is the Government Employees Medical Scheme. After the meeting, the bodies, including Dinosa, Nehau and SATU, are also set to hold a media briefing in Braamfontein to lay out their response to the increase. COSATU National Spokesperson Zanele Sabela says the unions are angered by GEMS' decision to raise contributions for next year.
The unions are also disgruntled about governance failures at GEMS and its attack on collective bargaining. Details of the planned action against the medical aid scheme will be provided.
Sabela says as part of their planned protests, union members will also take part in a nationwide picket tomorrow.
COSATU-affiliated public service unions will hold lunchtime pickets across the country on Tuesday, 24 February. On Thursday, 26th February, there will be a national action at the GEMS head office in Pretoria.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi is set to deliver the State of the Province address today. He will look back at the provincial government's performance in the past year and outline its future objectives. The event will take place at the Nasrec Expo Centre in Johannesburg at 6 p.m. Tabiso Goba reports.
One of the consistent calls Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi has made in his 3 previous State of the Province addresses is for the military to be deployed in the region to fight Zamazamas. That's no longer an issue, as President Cyril Ramaphosa has already signed off on the deployment. Lesufi has also used his SOPA to announce the Gauteng government's temporary work initiatives for unemployed young people. However, Lesufi was left with egg on his face last year after the Gauteng Crime Prevention Wardens Program, unofficially known as Amapanyaza, was deemed to be unlawfully constituted by the public protector. The DA in Gauteng, which is the official opposition, has urged the Premier to drop what it calls pie-in-the-sky ideas and focus more on the basics of provincial government. Meanwhile, the Umkhonto weSizwe party is planning to march from Soweto to the Nasrec Expo Centre, where it will demonstrate against the event which it calls useless and a platform for empty promises. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
2 police officers accused of extorting money from illegal shebeen operators are set to appear in the Duzuma Magistrates Court in KwaZulu-Natal today. The sergeants based at the Inanda Police Station and Duzuma Magistrates Court are accused of demanding payments in exchange for not making arrests. Provincial Police spokesperson Robert Nichawunda says the pair was initially caught by community members in January.
When the community arrived at Inanda Police Station, they were perplexed to find out that the 2 police officers were not brought at the station, and nobody at the community service center had any knowledge about the suspects who were arrested for extortion.
And a Hong Kong appeals court has upheld the convictions and sentences of a dozen democracy campaigners jailed for subversion during the city's largest trial under a Beijing-imposed national security law. The 12 people were among 45 opposition figures, including some of the Chinese city's best-known activists who were sentenced to prison in 2024 for organizing an unofficial primary election that authorities deemed a subversive plot. The 2020 poll had hoped to improve the changes of democracy, lawmakers winning a majority in the legislature so that they could then threaten to veto the city's budget unless the government accepted demands such as universal voting. The High Court chief says the poll was devised as part of a constitutional weapon of mass destruction, which was unlawful even without the threat of using force. A cloudy day in store for Gauteng with isolated showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 24 and 27 degrees.
And in the traffic, we still have got delays on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baku interchange. There's also queuing traffic reported along the Mike 1 North between Boysons Road and Carr Street. And then traveling in Roodepoort, we've got delays. In fact, a road closure along Main Reef Road, right at Cemetery Road and Mike Stock Road. Please be on the lookout there.
The top story this hour, unions affiliated to COSATU will meet today to discuss their opposition to a 9.8% contribution hike from GEMS.
In business, sustainability should share dividends with more than just shareholders. Let's make ROI include a return on integrity.
Get financial solutions for environmental and social impact. With RMB, sustainability yields more than good intentions. Trees and Cs apply. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Listen up, corporates. Wrap up your tax year on a meaningful note by donating to DKMS. Your support assists in fighting life-threatening blood cancers by enabling DKMS to recruit more potential donors, as well as raising patients' chances of finding a match. And there's an added advantage. Enjoy the benefits of a Section 18A tax certificate, which grants your company a well-deserved rebate. Be a force for good this tax season by giving those in need a new lease on life. Email fundraising at dkms-africa.org to donate today.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore, it's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
702. WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Bongani, I'm in my 40s. I've been friends with this guy for at least 8 years now. So Bongani, this friend of mine has a twin. So every single occasion, Bongani, whether it's a braai or a meetup, or he always brings his brother along. So yeah, it becomes difficult to talk about certain things. It's but yeah, he makes it tough. Thanks, Bongani. Great show.
Good morning, Bongani. This is Kabele from Pretoria. I agree with Muteo. When I was young, I would host a party at my house, and I would find that majority of the people who are attending, I don't even know them. But now that I'm older, even one more person is a problem. So I wouldn't stand it.
We're talking about those friends. You make plans. You're looking forward to catching up with Cindy Paluta. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Next thing, it's not only Cindy who shows up. There's Michaela, there's Trisha, there's Mpho, there's Amantle, there's, what's her name? You've even forgotten the other one's name. There must be all the small talk, and what do you do for a living, and where do you live, and how many kids do you have? What's your favorite color? Cindy, if we're going out or we've made plans and I bring others along, are you happy or are you cross with me?
I think, I think nobody likes that blindsided kind of unexpected. I think as humans we like what we know, and so when you're sprung this, no, it's not cool. I don't think it's cool. I think it's polite to ask, to say, I know we're meeting today. Can I bring X, Y, Z?
I come to your house. You've invited me, and I bring two others along. Your reaction?
What do we do? Like, what do you do there? I just don't invite you again. Yeah,
nice to see you, Amo.
Grin and
bear
bear
this is a surprise.
You grin and bear it through the night, and then you just don't invite the person again.
Yeah, simple as that.
Morning, Bongani. So I went to tertiary for my Vets Technicon with Miriam Ngomani. She used to be Miss Vets Technicon. We actually stayed in the same res. She was my friend. Had very big dreams. At some point, we called her Myra Banks. And I see that she's making it now. She's a model coach for Miss Soweto, and she's doing a whole lot of big things in the modeling industry. And yeah, can't help but smile every time I see her doing her thing, because it's been her biggest dream to be a supermodel and make it in the industry.
Morning, Bongani. Donovan here from Meyersdal. I had the privilege of sharing some time with Brenda Fuzzy when we were at Wits Technicon. What a beautiful soul. Her soul rest in peace. Thanks for a great show. Have a good morning. Cheers.
She may have visited Wits Tech, I'm imagining.
Also trying to think about Brenda Fuzzy.
Does she study at Wits Tech? Brenda? My brr?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, although of course all Arsenal fans will be breathing a sigh of relief, Man City still have a game in hand.
Yeah, but you guys were worried because you got held by Wolves. And then you were like, oh my gosh.
Just you to rub it in.
No, but you were. You were held by Wolves.
Yeah.
So you went into the weekend going, are we going to be able to beat Spurs?
Yeah.
16th on the table, Spurs, with a new manager at Spurs, blah, blah, blah.
It was a worry.
And then 4-1. 4-1 to go 5 points clear at the top of the table last night. 2 goals each for Eze and Gyökeres. Here's Eze.
Today it's worked out. We thank God for it. We put in a good performance. We done what we needed to do today, which was the main thing. We know what we're capable of. We know what we can do. We have to play games to dominate and to win, and we've got the players in the team to do it. So again, an important win for us, important performance, and we keep going.
Liverpool beating Nottingham Forest 1-0 with a goal in the 97th minute. Crystal Palace beat a 10-man Wolves 1-0, also scoring in stoppage time. Fulham got a 3-1 win over Sunderland. Tonight, Everton hosts Man United. In the Nedbank Cup, Sekhukhune beat Tuks 1-0. They're through to the quarterfinals with Amazulu, Arrows, Durban City, Milford and Jaxa Spears, as well as TS Galaxy, who knocked out Sundowns, and Casrick Stars, who beat Orlando Pirates. At the T20 World Cup, the Proteas stunned India, thrashing them by 76 runs. That's India's second biggest defeat in T20 cricket. The Proteas posted 187 for 7, Miller with 63, Brevis with 45 and Stubbs an unbeaten 44. India collapsed to 111 all out. Jansen took 4 wickets. Their next game is against the West Indies on Thursday. The West Indies are in action today against Zimbabwe. Proteas women beat Pakistan by 32 runs in a first ODI. Sanay Liz unbeaten on 93, Sanala Jafta on 57. Sekhukhune took 3 wickets in that game. Liz says she was thrilled for Jafta to get her first half century.
I don't think people always see the hard work we put in behind the scenes and the time and effort and sacrifices. So I think, when we hit those milestones, it means a lot for us. And when our teammates hit those milestones as well, it's like we're doing it for the first time. We're on tour 24/7 basically with each other. So we really celebrate each other's successes, and I'm very happy for them.
Second ODI is on Wednesday. In golf, South African Casey Jarvis won the Kenya Open, finishing on 25 under, 3 ahead of the field.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've actually never won in front of my dad before, so I've wanted to win in front of him so badly, and to finally do it when he's here can't explain to you the emotions. I was so nervous coming down the last 2, so yeah, it feels great.
In rugby, France thrashed Italy 33-8 to stay top of the Six Nations table, and in the URC, the Lions beat the Sharks 34-22 to move back into the top 8. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Switching to Outsurance Business Insurance was a quick process. I saved a lot of money.
Outsurance Business Insurance clients know that it pays to switch. And did you know you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium when you switch? For boutique hotels, catering companies, and all other businesses. Get a quote today and see why it pays to switch to Outsurance Business Insurance. Visit outsurance.co.za or call 08600 60,000 today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra presents its summer season concerts featuring celebrated conductors and soloists. Enjoy the experience on Thursday evenings from the 26th of February to the 19th of March at the Linda Auditorium. Programs include favorites by Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, and more. These concerts are not to be missed. Tickets available at Quicket. Go to jpo.co.za for more info.
What do you call someone who thinks outside the box? Creative. But what about someone who codes the box, brands it, sells it, rebrands it, and leads a team that reinvents it? That's a Red and Yellow graduate. Apply now to Unleash Remarkable with Red and Yellow Creative School of Business, a member of Honoris United Universities.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142. You could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, traveling in Tembisa could remain problematic this morning. This is due to protest activities that are taking place within the area. So please be on the lookout and try to avoid routes like Modderfontein Road, Zurfontein Road, as well as Kleurkop Road. And then if you are traveling in the same area towards the city of Tshwane, try to avoid the R21 North. It's heavily backed up due to roadworks there right near the Olifantsfontein off-ramp. As a result, please try to use the N1 North instead through Midrand. And then traveling on the N12 West, we've got delays between Edenville Road and the Gululies interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North between Boyson's Road and Car Street. More updates coming up at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital, carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing two generations together. Every story is different, and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005, in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
In business, the right connections change everything. It's the stability you need for that once-in-a-lifetime virtual pitch, the lightning-fast speeds that keep you ahead of deadlines, and the consistent, high-quality signals your teams rely on every day. Because when your connectivity works seamlessly, so does your business. Power your workday with fast, reliable fiber from OpenServe, built to keep your operations running at full speed. Visit openserve.co.za today to learn more. T's and C's apply.
Aren't you tired of hearing how tough every bucky is? Tough this, tougher that, and being tougherer. But what about a bucky that's actually evolved? Confidence when you need it. Modern comfort because you deserve it. And next-gen tech that's, well, just smarter. Introducing the Changan Hunter range from only 5,299 Rand per month. Test drive SA's better balanced bucky today. T's and C's apply.
Changan, driven to evolve.
Naked people have happier marriages because naked people spend less time on insurance admin. They have more time for date nights or couples therapy. Go to naked.insure now. Get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Yes, indeed. Between 9 and 12 is the Clement Manyatela Show. Clement, you're in our Cape Town studios. What's going on?
So, coming up on the show, Bongani, we're going to start with the 702 open line. We'll reflect on a number of important stories, including what happened in Mexico. They seem to have had a military operation where they've taken out one of the most wanted drug cartel leaders. So we'll reflect on that and why that is important and whether that's coming because of the pressure that comes from the US. But at 10 o'clock, we're going to speak to Thulani Khumalo. So he speaks on behalf of the families of these men that were sent to Russia without their consent, really, under false pretense. I've just pre-recorded a conversation with him, and he seems to have suggested that as families, they've been told by our government that the remaining 13 men are on their way home. So it looks like that 4 that came last week was the first group, and the remaining 13 men will be arriving here tomorrow. So I'll play that interview at 10 o'clock. And then at 10:30, we continue with our series looking at countries the US has invaded or intervened in militarily. Today we're going to be focusing on Somalia. And then we wrap up the show at 11 o'clock with our Family Matters feature. Today we're discussing the decision to cut off parents. There are people who decide, I want nothing to do with my parents anymore. We'll look at that decision, the impact of that on the family structure, and how you navigate that.
Why are you in Cape Town?
I came to watch my favorite artist yesterday.
Ooh, who?
Jabulile, in fact, he's a new artist, Jabulile Machola. He is incredible, and he was performing with Vusi Mahlasela yesterday in Kirstenbosch, and the best treat ever.
Is that your story and you're sticking to it?
It is the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Clement Manyatela between 9 and 12.
New deals for the Checkers extravaganza are here. Save extra on top picks, like ready-to-fry grill house-style pre-cooked marinated pork spare ribs for $149.99 per kilo. Clover Buttro 500 grams for $79.99. And Omo Auto liquid detergent 1.5 litre or capsules, 14 per pack. Any 2 for 145 Rand. Valid until 1 March, only at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
To live wealthier, you need to be able to grow your assets. At Standard Bank Private, you get a team of internationally acclaimed financial experts to advise you on local and global investment strategies. Plus, being with a leader in home loans, you can start expanding your property portfolio. So, come live wealthier with Africa's best private bank. Apply online at standardbank.co.za. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
When the brightest brains collide in the biggest general knowledge quiz in Gauteng, it's time for the Brain of 702.
Time now to exercise those brain muscles. Put your brilliance on display. Prove your mental might. There's 130,000 Rand in the big kitty. 1,500 Rand for this round and another at the end of the day on 702 Drive. The Brain of 702. Your brain, our stage. The winner of the week wins 10,000 Rand. And of course, 30,000 Rand should they be declared the Brain of 702. Two brand new contestants today. Namani, who is in Johannesburg. Namani, are you playing for the first time? Have you played before?
Hi, Bongani. I'm playing for the first time.
Oh, do you have a particular category that is your strength, do you think?
I'm thinking geography. But
Geography.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people say geography and then the geography question comes? Good luck, Namani. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're playing against Kwabena, who is in Little Falls. Now, Kwabena, I'm told you have played before a couple of years ago. How did it go that time?
I won one round.
You won at least 1,500 Rand, right? And tell me,
Right.
do you have a particular category that you think is your strength?
Not really. I'm just trying to be lucky for what I know.
Good luck to you. It's as simple as that. An honest answer there from Kwabena. All right, you both have 60 seconds to answer up to 15 questions. And obviously the contestant with the most correct answers will be the winner. Otherwise, we play sudden death if the scores are equal. Namani, you're going to have the first bite at the cherry. Are you ready, my friend?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, you're going to have to answer a little faster than that, Namani, hey?
For sure, for sure.
Okay, KG, start the clock.
3, 2, 1.
Spell the word lyrical.
Lyrical.
Lyrical. True or false? China is not a neighbor of Russia.
False.
Correct. What is the surname of the pop star Beyonce? Is it Sumner or Knowles?
No.
Correct. In which province is the town Addo?
Eastern Cape.
Correct. True or false? Dendrology is the study of trees.
False.
It's true. In which country is the African city Dar es Salaam?
Tanzania.
Correct. In which sport is the WTA a governing body?
Tennis.
Correct. The artist who won the Song of the Year Grammy for Wildflower is Billy who?
Ooh, pass.
Eilish. Which word means praise or honor? Is it exalt or exclaim?
Exalt.
Correct. Which animal is the symbol of the Democratic Party in the USA?
Ooh, bear.
The donkey. The British Prime Minister known as the Iron Lady
Margaret Thatcher.
was Margaret Thatcher. That's not in time. That's not in time, I'm afraid. And that tallies your score, Namani, up to 6 correct answers. 6 correct answers. Listen, that's not a bad round for the first time. It is often a competitive score, so cross your fingers and hang in there. Kwabena, 6 or better to stay in the game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
As you'll ever be. KG, start the clock.
3, 2, 1.
Spell the word luggage.
Luggage.
E. You forgot the E at the end. True or false? True or false? China has more people than India.
False.
Correct. What is the surname of the pop star Adele? Is it Atkins or Ciccone?
Atkins.
Correct. In which province is the town Calvinia?
Northern Cape.
Correct. In which country is the African city Casablanca?
Morocco.
Correct. True or false? Hydrology is the study of water.
True.
Correct. In which sport is the WBO an organizing body?
Boxing.
Correct. The artist who won the Album of the Year Grammy is Bad Who?
Bunny.
Correct. Which word means to set fire? Dwindle or kindle?
Kindle.
Correct. Which animal is the symbol of the Republican Party in the USA?
Elephant.
Correct. The British nurse known as Lady in the Lamp was Florence who?
Five.
Nightingale. Nightingale, the founder of nursing, the mother of nursing. Namani.
Hi, Bongani.
Experience counts, eh?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, experience counts. Listen, you'll have a story to tell. You didn't do too badly. You acquitted yourself well. But I'm afraid
Thank you.
Kwabena pipped you to it, hey?
He did, shame.
Yes,
All the
he
best
did.
to him.
Yes, he did. All the best to him. Kwabena, I think you know what that means. You have won 1,500 Rand.
Thank you.
8 correct answers is what you got. 8 correct answers. And a bit of a tricky one. You've got to make sure that you are clear and that we can hear you. I didn't hear you with that last E.
Yeah, I said the G very quickly.
Yeah, so make sure you are loud and clear.
Okay.
Speed isn't the game, it's making sure you get the point, eh?
Yes.
But no matter, you'll play again this afternoon with John Polman, an afternoon drive. And if you're still standing at the end of the day, you'll be the brain of the day. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
I hope to play with you tomorrow this time. If you'd like to still enter the brain of 702, simply go to primemediaplus.com. Enter your details and we could be calling you.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. You know this thing of people throwing party at us? It is very wrong. Because if you invite me for lunch, it's just the two of us, we're going out. And then jiggy, it's a party. Like, we are now 4, we are now 5. It's a party. And I'm not in a party mood. I thought we were just going to engage. I'm going to engage with one person or 2 people. The next thing is a party. It's so wrong. It is very wrong. And if I am going out for lunch or something with Bongani and Kabazela hears about it and it's like, I want to tag along. It's been a while since I've seen Bongani. No, we're going to arrange where is the 3 of us. For now, I've arranged this with Kabazela and I'm going with him alone. That is me. Thank you, Bongani. Great show.
Morning. I was invited to come and join. So 3 friends of mine said, no, we're having a get together and please come and join us. It will be me, so and so and so and so. So I'm assuming when I get there, it's going to be 3 people. And I'm going to be the 4th. When I got there, it was almost 80% of the people I was in primary school with. So it was some sort of a primary school reunion, which they said the reason for it was to come and meet and prepare and talk about a meeting and making a primary school reunion. But it was already a reunion. Me going there thinking I'm going to meet with 3 people.
Good morning, breakfast team. Listen, for me, I'm like more the merrier. The more the merrier. Like, I like getting to know people. Especially, like, I expect that you would invite people that will fit in, that are almost on I don't want to say level, but that will click with.
I was talking about small talk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't know the other people. But what if you do? I invite you or you invite me. Now I'm coming with Muteo. Bless his heart, but he's the one you wanted to slabber, to gossip about.
I'll phone you.
But you've set up this whole hang.
So that I can talk about him openly.
And now there's Muteo.
And not over the phone on the record. Oof. Yeah, then it becomes tough.
The other tricky one, Muteo, we're hanging out.
Yeah.
Amma wants to come along. But she's going through a lot and ish. You don't want to. Now you're going to be. No.
It depends on the hangout. If we were planning to.
Yeah, you don't know. I'm just saying, hey, let's chill after the show.
Have an incredibly good time. And we know she's going through something and it's not going to be that time.
You disappoint her and say, no, you can't come.
We make another time.
You're making what excuse? No, I want to come. Ooh, I'm coming. And plus, I've been going through a lot. This is just what I needed.
Yeah, I'm not bringing my problems.
Yeah, she gets there and she cries. Then it's not a good time anymore.
With friends like these, who needs enemies? It's 9:00.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. While Richvale Primary School in Roodepoort faces serious allegations of corporal punishment by alcohol at a local Pick n Pay, the transaction was stopped only after a store manager alerted the school's treasurer. Some members of the school governing body have attributed the issue to a widespread governance crisis at the school. Nolutando Ngeno reports.
According to an internal investigation by the Gauteng Education Department, Richvale Primary School is allegedly indebted to Pick n Pay